Hello, and welcome to Smokesteve's International Pub. Today we're going to be featuring a classic cocktail from the beginning of the tiki bar era, the late 20s, early 30s. This one was invented by a man named Don Beach, who went on to have a successful line of tiki bars called Don's Beachcomber. The predecessor to this drink by name only would have been called Grog. That would have been served to British soldiers and rationed to them, I believe, all the way up until the early 1970s. That was basically water and rum. You got a daily grog ration. Now, this cocktail is called a Navy Grog, and it features 3 types of rum as well as citrus. All tiki drinks have some type of syrup, which I'm going to feature here, as well as lime juice, grapefruit juice, and club soda. It's a fairly complex drink. Don always featured multiple types of rums going together. We've got silver, gold, and dark. And the dark is a combination rum. This is an old British rum which has Demerara rum mixed in with it, which is made from a certain type of sugar. So let's go with the Navy Grog. Here we go. So we're going to put equal parts of each of the 3 rums together. We've got ice in our shaker. I'm not going to go with full shots, maybe almost full shots. So that's Caribbean Gold. We've got the British Navy Pusser's rum, same amount. And we got good old Bacardi Silver, the workhorse of the rum world. Very mild compared to the other 2 for depth of flavor. Okay, this is honey syrup, equal parts honey and water, warmed in a pan until blended. Don't scorch the honey. 3 tablespoons or whatever I did of that. Full jigger of grapefruit juice. Gonna hit it with a bit of club soda. Not very much though. And lastly, we will squeeze a lime into there. I thank you. All right, fresh lime going in every time. All right, here we go. Beautiful. Gonna give this a nice shake. Really want this thing to be ice cold. The Navy Grog. No, robot wife. This one's for me. Oh, wow. That is delicious. Bitter, sweet, phenomenal. I'm not going to down this one. This is for sipping, and it is quite good. We'll see you downstairs. What is up? How you guys doing? All right. Yeah, it is tangy and sharp, Alan. If you want to offset the tang, you add a little more of that honey syrup. And I used pure grapefruit juice, so that is very bitter also. You could get like grapefruit juice cocktail, which has sugar and water and a blend. Or you could use the pink stuff. Whoa, hey, what's going on there, Laura Julian? Julian, good to see you. Hey, George. I don't say that, Smokesteve wife. I mean, robot wife. Yeah, she's right. I need to make doubles
she can have one. Yeah, it was a good one. It's bitter, it's sweet, it's everything. Hi, Carol. Is this a good place for a woman to be? Hi. I don't think you're in any particular danger by being here. You might get a little bored with our ramblings, but yeah, hang around. We're just ordinary average Joes. Yeah, we did have a female on last week. She came on camera. She was cool. I'm sure one of you guys can remind me of her name. Charlotte. That's it. Yeah, cool. Right on. Carol, make yourself a drink and chill. And welcome everybody. So I think I put the link in the description, and I will always post it in the chat. There was Turkotron too. Yes, Cup. She was interesting character. Enjoyed her company, and her stalker. He was an interesting feller. Yeah, exactly. Last Dance. Her stalker, Stackler. His finger went in bizarro and hit the cap locks, got things in different order. Turkotron, yeah, she was good. But all are welcome. All are welcome. Some will get the hook. You know what I'm saying? But give it a shot. If you're not annoying or strange or a troll, you can hang. But if you're annoying, strange, or a troll, just hang in the comments, and I don't give a fuck. It's always an option. Yes, Miss Lip, right on. Oh boy. A little overloaded here on the desk. Yeah, right on, Aphid. Very well, thank you. That's life. Thought Biscuits was a woman. No, sir. Yeah, she likes to use the grabber. She was considering taking the drink. We had discussed that, but that's total disaster. And also the grabber. I don't know if I want to touch in the drink. But next week, I make 2 if she's here. And I think I'm going to make a very, very complex tiki bar drink that is going to require me to order some rum from the internet, which will give me 5 types of rum that I'll have in the cabinet. I guess it's going to be a rum summer. And if the bourbon's gone, so got a lot of rum, tequila's gone, good bit of gin. Gin is just an oddball drink, you want a gin and tonic here or there, but it's a martini. Yeah, they're good. I think they're better when you're out and someone else makes them. Drinking a martini at home, it does seem a little strange. Tonight, we have a multitude of things going. Gonna probably smoke some zombie kush. That is a very nice one. I've also got some stuff that smells like tangerines, which is probably where the strain Tangy came from, but it's not Tangy, so it's just what we call a phenotype, different expression from that a certain type of weed will show from its environment or from its individual genetics, And I usually don't grind unless I'm smoking joints. That's life, which I haven't done in a while. Where are my papes? I should roll a joint. See, if I don't have all this shit set up in front of me, it's no bueno. Shit, now I want a joint. I'm screwed. All right, no biggie. Fuck. if you happen to see the grinder up there and the rolling papers, let me know, would you there, wife? No, I don't. Do not. Yeah, Hayden's cool, Carol. He's the man. He's entertaining. He can really just talk, man. I try, but I'm not very good, admittedly so. Graham is quite good at it too. Just filling the space, coming up with topics, and they do their research, which is cool. Yeah, he's the man, and this is his channel, so I try to keep it on the up and up as much as possible. Although, after some of the live shows he's done recently, I don't think there's much that we can do that he would really care about. I'm going to throw the link here if anyone is interested. Yeah, but he's super cool. Those guys are just chill dudes, along with Will. An error occurred. Wait a moment and try again. Weird. Let me know if you guys can see that link. It looks like it came up in the chat, and it says an error occurred. That would be odd. Never had an error, a YouTube error. But I do have a British cocktail that I want to do, but I don't know if it would be boring for people in Britain, because you guys probably drink it all the time, or seemingly. Links up. Thanks. That's life. TLBNAWKI. Tlibanwaki. Yeah, cool. Right on. Thanks, guys. And I am having a Navy grog right here. Yeah. It's puckery. It's in cold. It's really a different level. What do we got? Twitch. All right, cool. Can't be checking the phone. That's unprofessional. Hey, we got a visitor, and it's a normal visitor, a regular visitor. So yeah, interesting, Cup. Expound on that. I assume you'll be talking about Ukraine escalation right now, but maybe you're talking about a larger war in general. But I don't know how much war they're going to have anymore on the old LL. Yeah, there was some cool video from Syria, tank videos and stuff of them, cruising around and getting blown up and shit. Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice. Appreciate that. That's life. Yeah, I figured out it's a bar, What the fuck? Why not make a drink? Why not? All right, let's bring in our buddy. What's up,
Hello.
Biscuit?
How are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Thank you very much.
Cool. Good.
I had 0 side effects from my second jab, so I'm all happy.
Uh-huh. So that means you were probably exposed to it prior to the first jab. Like, meaning
I think what happened was the first jab, my body was like, what the fuck's this? Get it fucking out.
Well, see, the way that the double jab works is that if you've never had it, the first one your body doesn't recognize, then the second one your body recognizes it and really goes into hyperspeed. But the theory is if you get a reaction after the first one that you may have had COVID or been at least exposed to it.
The way I saw it is that my body hadn't seen it and my antibodies went into overdrive to combat whatever was in my system. And this time, it's like
possible.
my antibodies are like, yep, we've got this sorted.
I remember you did at one point come on and think you had it though.
Yeah.
What, 4, 5,
I think it was
6
just a
months
cold.
ago? A cold, yep.
Yeah.
Impossible to say, I guess, but good. You're fully. So how long till you're fully vaxxed?
Another week and a half, I think.
Cool, man. Good for you. Good. Congratulations. Let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Last Dance. How you doing, man?
All right. How are you guys doing?
Very good, thanks.
Let me adjust the lighting.
No worries. You're getting your second jab, right? At some point, Last Dance.
Well, just about 1 week from today.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a common thought there. That's life. It is. It's created to induce a reaction, so that if you, I guess, right, that's part of it.
Yeah, I think just the antibodies at first, they like didn't know what they were reacting to, and just went haywire. First dose.
I've known several people that have kind of had a more difficult second vaccine than their first vaccine, and
Really?
yeah, I'm a little anxious about getting the second shot, but
I was anxious about my second one, but I didn't even get a sore arm on the second go.
yeah, well, you got all of your reaction on the first one, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of lamb's rum, Carol, but it sounds good.
Maybe that's an English thing. I've heard of lambs.
Yeah, have you heard of pussers?
No.
Supposedly, that's the rum they gave to the Royal Navy, I guess, as their rum ration brand.
Unless that's the actual brand name for just Royal Navy rum.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah,
it's Pusser's Royal Navy rum. It's a bunch of different ones combined.
That's the name of a
because it's just
restaurant.
Royal Navy. They might have Pussers just above it, but in small black writing.
Exactly. It's pretty good. It's definitely got a bit of the molasses side of it, but I like it. It's good. Got to track down the Demerara rum, which is made from Demerara sugar. They only make it in French Guyana, but that stuff is supposedly unbelievable. So, got to order some online.
No, you have to go there to get it and bring it back.
Practically, I called the monster liquor store 25 miles from here. It's like a small Walmart, and they have a bartender working at all times just to answer questions. And he was like, "No, we don't carry it." So I found a place online that has it, which is cool. You can get booze delivered. I had no idea. Not like Drizzle where they go and buy it and bring it to your house. It's like Amazon, but for booze. There's a warehouse somewhere full of booze.
Now, that's probably different state by state, I would imagine, the legality of delivery.
I would think so. But
we used to have a booze delivery called what was it called now? I can't remember what it was called, but you could call them 24 hours a day. But I think the government caught on to that pretty quick. It only lasted about a year before it got fully banned.
Right. I've had Mount Gay. It's good.
It was actually called Booze Cruise. Now I remember. You just call them up any time of day and they'll fetch you whatever you want.
Or take care of your alcohol emergencies.
Yeah.
Salante, son of Hades. That's an Irish thing, right?
Yeah. Well, the pubs are open again.
Yeah, I imagine.
Here in Britain, but only outdoors.
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah, but it's better than nothing. I'd rather sit outdoors anyway when the sun's shining.
Yeah. Are you a pub guy when the pubs are open? Do you go?
I was, but I can't even walk to a pub these days. So
right. That's why you're here. Yeah, I have a feeling it might slow down a little this summer once things open up.
I would go on the electric bike now that it's just outdoors.
Yeah.
One at Locals, they've got a big beer garden with a park on for kids. I could just take little and to park while I have a couple of beers.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really want to be riding back after a couple of pints on with a kid on back.
Right. Yeah. You need a 3-wheeler, maybe something a little more stable.
It's not that. It's just with little and on back, and it's quite a busy road on way back. I don't want to get knocked over.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Got to be safe. Yeah, I saw somebody tweeted a video from a beer garden in the UK, and people were just glowing with smiles. They were so happy to be around other human beings.
Well, that's it.
Nobody was freaked out or bugging about the mask thing. I think people are getting there to the point where they want to be done with this, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are vaccinated, which will, I think, help expedite that process, you know? So if like everyone else gets vaccinated, then the people who aren't vaccinated are significantly safer, wouldn't you say? Doesn't that make sense? No.
Oh, it does make sense. You are significant. There's a certain point you reach called herd immunity. I'm sure you've heard of it. And at that point,
at the moment, with it only being 50% of the population vaccinated, it doesn't really make much of a difference to the population that aren't vaccinated.
Yeah, we'll see, but
I think it's better now that the majority of the elderly in the UK are vaccinated. Only the people that have refused over 60 haven't been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that's life. I'm on the list, but I'm not in a rush to get the thing, and but I'm not against it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just let them tell me when my turn comes, I guess. I don't know.
Know which one you want if you had the choice.
Well, I wanted the Johnson & Johnson, but
it's causing blood clots now, isn't it?
Yeah, not good.
The blood clot risk is almost infinitesimal.
Yeah, it's like 6 out of the 7 million or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, so like 1 in 1.1 million.
They already had a prerequisite. They were going to have a blood clot before they even had it.
It's smaller than the risk of getting hit by lightning.
Yeah.
But they were all women. So I think
I did hear that.
It is worth studying. You know, it is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let me see here. That turned me right off about it.
It's in such small numbers, though, that it could just be a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they say that compared to the national average of developing blood clots, it's higher.
Right.
So and being that it's all in women, I think the pause. I don't know if that was the best idea because that just freaked a lot of people out. But
no, that was a mistake. I think they're still paused.
They did the same thing with the AstraZeneca because that had the same thing, didn't it, with blood clots?
Yeah, I think they should have. It was a similar situation. I don't know if it was the same, but they should have come out with the news and let people make their decisions, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is that people who take vaccines are still going to be, getting all the other things that happen to people. They're going to, die at the same rate. They're going to get blood clots at the same rate. I guess 6 out of 7 million is higher than you would expect at random. So
right.
But I find that a little hard to believe because I know someone was saying that if you take birth control pills, the risk of clots are 1 in 1,000 or something like that.
Jesus.
So if it's all women, you'd think maybe were they all were any of them on the pill?
Yeah.
If so, can I find out who they are? Not just kidding.
Right. Yeah.
Are there any instances of men getting this blood clot, or is it all women?
All women.
It seems to be all women, although you can't be 100% certain that the vaccine surveillance captures everybody that has a bad reaction.
Right.
So,
exactly.
I mean, for all we know, there could be tens of thousands of people dead in their homes, unreported deaths. Not trying to fear
Okay.
but it's a possibility.
For the bright side, we go to biscuit vapes.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. We have to believe what we're told, so there's no real way to verify.
That's actually one reason why I don't want everybody to get the vaccine, because just in case it's a deadly poison, I don't want humanity to be rendered extinct because everybody took the vaccine.
Right.
Zombie movies come to mind when they give vaccines for flu virus. Like to eradicate the cold and stuff, and it causes a zombie apocalypse.
But
in this case, the more realistic one is everyone just drops dead.
Right. What was the movie where they found out that women couldn't get pregnant? So there was one woman they found that was pregnant, and
that wasn't that a TV series?
I don't know, man. It was almost like a 28 Days Later type future weird alter.
There was the one with the animals. Is it Zootopia? Not Zootopia. I think it was just called Zoo.
Huh.
There was animals that went severely violent, and then they all turned into grotesque monsters, and then the human population then couldn't have kids.
Right.
He says children are men.
That might have been it. I don't know, but it could be that sort of thing where the people who don't get it end up having that. I don't know. Who knows? This is highly unlikely. Obviously,
if half the population happened to become infertile, would that be such a bad thing?
Yeah,
depends which half.
Right.
If it's the smart half, then that's not good.
You mean the smart half? The smart half that actually took the vaccine.
I'm not going to say that the people that take it are smarter than the people that didn't. You can certainly divide the intelligence of the world into two halves, and
the haves and the have-nots.
If half of the people of the world have to become sterile, I'd rather it was be the stupid half.
Yeah.
Well, that I don't think stupidity is a genetic trait.
You don't?
No, because you see it all the time that two stupid parents can actually produce a prodigy.
I don't see it ever. So you must you must have more experience than me with stupid people.
I'll put it this way: I'm not the smartest. Winter's mum's not the smartest, my daughter, but she's a friggin' genius.
I think you're pretty damn smart. So
right.
That's not a good example.
Yeah, I mean, there's inherently
she's smarter than I am. She's greater than the sum of the whole.
That's good news.
Yeah. It's also hard to define. Inherently smart is something that is impossible to define because of education. Some people people educate better than others. They become educated, they take it easier, they learn quicker. But that doesn't mean it's almost you have you got these inbred motherfuckers. Those ones, their genes are fucked. But the rest of the world, I think you could have, I'd say, a Boilermaker and, the wife is a house cleaner or whatever. They could have a brilliant child, but they themselves may be uneducated, obviously.
It might be the case that they just didn't get the greatest start in life, but the child did.
That's my thinking is that way too. I mean, I've known people who I would say are intrinsically slow, and I've known them to have children that seem pretty slow, from day one. And I've known people that may not have, a ton of education, but they obviously have a mental quickness that sets them apart, and they have children that do whatever they want to do education-wise, whether it's go on to, get degrees or even a PhD or do something else.
Exactly. I mean, look at Einstein's parents. They were cobblers. No, they weren't. I don't know what they were. I made that up.
Whatever you say, I don't know.
Right.
The problem with Einstein is that people say that he was a genius, but he didn't actually do all his own mathematical workings. He was just a great thinker.
Yeah.
He actually got someone else to do the math, the hard mathematical workings.
He was a tremendous mathematician. That was one of his strongest suits.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of the guy that did all of his, like his E equals MC squared and all that. He thought of the thought experiments that came up with that idea.
Is that Isaac Newton?
No, it's not Isaac Newton. He's from 1660s or whatever.
Copernicus?
No. It was just some. I think it was like his college professor.
I see what you're saying.
Mathematical. He helped him do his maths because he couldn't do it himself.
I don't know. I can't speak to that. Let's bring in a fourth. What's up, Aphid 4K?
Uh-oh.
Now with 5G.
5G. Aphid, you're gonna be reduced to protoplasm by the 5G rays.
They injected me with it Wednesday.
I've just upgraded my broadband to 350 meg from 50 meg.
Okay. So
Awesome.
Mine's 80. Is that any good?
Yeah, 80 is good.
All right.
Well, your speed?
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's not. I don't know if I'd say it's good.
Well, what's yours, Big Shot?
I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see.
You got 350 biscuit? Damn.
Is that what you got?
It's not live yet. It starts in 2 days.
Okay.
Do a speed test. That'll be the best way to.
Speed test by Ookla.
Right.
Just type in Google and type in speed test.
Yeah, mine is they said up to 80 for which is I assume my camera is probably fairly low def because it's on the iPad laptop here. So does you use more with higher def, right? Like you're using more for streaming?
Yeah,
I would think.
I got 300 down here.
When this comes live, I'm gonna have to upgrade my camera to a DSLR.
Right. So you got 300. You're hardwired down to your basement zone.
Oh well, yeah. Actually, technically, it's I'm at 288.7 right now
on a wire.
Well, I got my main routers upstairs, and then I got another one coming to a separate one because I'm in kind of a dead zone in my house because of the heating and air conditioning duct. So none of this shit would work if I didn't have a second router that's hardwired in, and I lose some from that second one. But upstairs, it's like usually 400 something, usually in that range.
So you run on your Wi-Fi. Right now, you're on
right.
Wi-Fi.
Well, technically, I'm in an Ethernet port on the back of the second router down here.
Okay, so you ran like a Cat 7 cable or something, like I did.
Yeah. Well, is that what the cable modem things are?
Yeah.
Your router is wirelessly connected to your main router?
No.
So
technically, I'm hardwired, but I'm going through a second router, and it kills about 25%.
Right.
Speed for some reason. I don't know why.
It might be because your router can't handle that much speed.
It could. I just keep getting cheaper like $5 ones at the used stores.
What could go wrong with a $5 router?
And I reset it, update it, and then I keep getting better ones. And this one's got 3 antennas on it, so I was hoping that would do my backyard better. But it improved the internet here by like tenfold. And I just did that like last weekend, I guess that was.
Well, I run a wire like right through the house. It's great. Smokesteve wife loves it. It's dangling in the living room, running
Right.
down the stairs, trip hazards everywhere.
Was that an ironic? Was that an ironic? Loves it.
Yeah, she hates it.
Yeah, my basement's unfinished, so I just went straight through the floor. It goes down behind because the main router is in our entertainment center with our TV and shit upstairs. And I just went down, came back. It's like a 30-foot cable or whatever. But at my work, if I go up into the ceiling at my work, there's hundreds of, well, not hundreds. There's probably a dozen of those cables that are not hooked up to anything. So whenever I need one, I'm just like, they're cheap anyway. I think it's like $10 for like 50 foot or something. But I just go rob. Yeah.
I got it. Mine was $20. I rented from the upstairs. Right. Had to get the. They don't have laptops. Don't come with Ethernet plugins anymore. So
really? Mine do.
I had to get it.
These old ones.
My laptop's like 15-year-old.
Right. Now they're not tall enough for that, so it's a USB converter to the.
Doesn't it have a little flap that comes down to let it go in?
Negative.
No, some of them have like a flap with those smaller ones to let it go in.
Oh man, no.
Not Apple.
Oh, is it Apple?
Well, mine is. Mine's a MacBook. I don't know.
Yeah, Apple's gone crazy. They don't. You can't plug headphones into their phones anymore, and then. And people buy this little wire that converts it so you can still plug headphones in. I mean, what the fuck? Right. Just give the damn port for the headphone plug, But that's obviously they're trying to make money, make it a proprietary.
Basically, what they're saying is the headphone jack is so old now that they need to have an update, even though it never was. It never needed updating because it was perfect from the start.
Exactly.
Most new cell phones don't. If they're flagships and they're at the top of the line, they don't have a headphone jack.
Ouch. That's not good.
When I got this MacBook,
Bluetooth headphones. That's why.
I'm listening. Last Dance. You got one audience.
That's okay. I was just gonna say when I got this MacBook. Apple had made a bunch of changes, and people just assume that everything Apple does is perfect and they know what they're doing. Well, almost all the changes, in my opinion, made things worse. And they got rid of. They had something called the MagSafe adapter, which your power thing would connect via a magnetic connector, so that if you knocked into your power cable, it didn't snap off or bend or anything; it just came right off.
Right.
Really easily. Well, they got rid of that, and that seemed stupid because that was a nice thing. They changed the keyboard to something called the butterfly keyboard, and they added these things called soft keys instead of hard keys. And all those things I thought were obviously less good than what they had. And they've since I bought this laptop 3 or 4 years ago, they've now brought all the things back that they had gotten rid of. So they realized their mistake, but I don't know why they could have asked any user right away, and they would have told them, all that shit you're doing is stupid. Undo it.
Right.
So don't just assume that Apple's correct whenever they do something.
Well, to me, Apple is just an overpriced, cheap, shitty company.
I mean, they're good stuff. I mean, their phones.
I gotta say that the stuff is good quality. Everything I've ever gotten from them.
Right.
That's just because the price is high to make you think that it's good quality.
I got all kinds of different devices. I'm not a snob towards Apple, but the Apple stuff runs better. It's usually there's not many other devices I have. I'm always constantly trying to figure out what's wrong with them to fix them and work my way around it.
Interesting.
With iPhones, I rarely ever have any. This is my 4th or 5th iPhone. Really, any issues with it?
Yeah, I'm a Samsung guy all day long.
I've got an S20.
Yeah, I never liked Apple. The big button always bummed me out in the old days, and ever since then,
the big button.
Yeah. They don't have any button anymore.
Nope.
But yeah, I like the the Samsung platform works for me. Once you learn something, I could never switch now, you know? This is probably my 5th one. So
I tried going to Linux, but I
Last
can't even
Dance.
switch from Windows to Linux.
I'm gonna try and block the sun with my
I know it's
big
burning.
fucking head.
It's burning a hole in my retina.
There we go.
I try not to look at you for more than 0.3 seconds.
It's a shame you ain't got blinds on your windows.
There we go. Now you can look at the a total eclipse of the sun around my head.
It only happens once every 50 years.
See the halo around my head. Watch as I am raptured.
exactly. Linux.
I tried Linux. It's just it's kind of a pain. Like when you want to install or download something, you have to go through all the. It's not like you just push a button and it does the rest for you. You have to work at it.
There's no need for Linux now that Windows 10 you can install for free.
Really?
Right.
I don't even know what that's about.
I've got a USB stick that I can just put it on any device I want now.
Your Windows?
It's not activated, but it works. It'll work forever.
Yeah, I'm a software guy, so I've used Linux for years in software development and used Windows, since it's been around.
Do you know how? Do you get the command box and whatnot?
Well, I have a MacBook now, so I.
What about with like Linux? Do you understand the command box?
Command box, yeah, I understand the command box.
Yeah.
I will say that Linux is outstanding for a device that has low everything. Like an old device, like an old laptop, you load Linux on it and it'll run.
Well, you can't even get Windows to run in those older ones, so Linux is almost your only choice.
Well, a lot of these old devices, you can update Windows for free all the way up to Windows 10 or whatever. And some of this stuff back here was made when XP and stuff was out, So I was like, oh, you can do it for free, So I just uploaded everything, and now some of the stuff it just won't run nearly as smooth.
I think you can get a Google Chrome operating system these days.
Yep.
Maybe I got a
Chromebook. It's it's basically Linux that Google has tweaked.
Right. Yeah, and it does run smooth too. It doesn't really have any problems.
My daughter's got a proper Chromebook. So I'm putting it on one of my older laptops.
This old laptop right here is just like an old ancient dinosaur right here, and it's got Windows 10 on it. But when you go up, the way I have it set up is just the background change. No, it's flashing a photo stream. But
this is my dinosaur.
Yeah, but
Chungus.
But if you go up to it and try to do anything on it, it's like, no, please just put me back into showing pictures because I can't do anything else.
Right. So crazy week in the news here in the U.S. Lots of go ahead and say it. Anyone? Lots of
black people dying.
Not only that, a lot of people dying.
Crazy shootings.
Yes. Shootings. Yeah. Do you hear about that over there, Biscuit?
Yeah.
You heard about?
We're also hearing a lot about Gates or something.
What is it?
Summit Gates from in Congress, I think.
Oh,
is it Matt Gates.
Oh, yep. Matt Gates. Okay, yeah. Well, that's pretty. That's an interesting case because so far there's been no charges filed, and but there've been all sorts of accusations that the police have leaked out. Yes, Gates, Gaetz.
Yeah,
Gaetz.
Yeah, it's probably German, I'm guessing, but So, this is the one news story I'm not up to speed on. Can you guys give me anything?
Matt Gaetz?
Yeah.
Well, he's.
Oh, really? Is that really what you're gonna say?
Yes.
Oh, that's
Well,
an awesome
I can
story.
tell you what I know. I mean, there's
It's an awesome story.
He's alleged, I believe he's alleged, to have had a sexual relationship with a woman who was a girl who was 17 at the time. At least that's the rumor.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Here's the facts.
And the other thing is that it's possible that she was paid as a prostitute.
And he probably listens to Winger. Anyone get that joke? Winger?
Because she's only 17.
Right. Her daddy says she's too young, but she's old enough for me. That's the lyrics in the song. That was only about, probably, I don't know, 30 years ago that song was totally fine.
Yeah. You don't want to be singing that one out loud.
No, crazy, huh?
She's only 7.
Right.
Now, Aphid Lip here is a where there's smoke, there's fire kind of guy. So
No,
he probably assumes everything's true.
No, but I will tell you that he is what his best friend. I don't know if it's his best friend, but the guy that he associated with the most in these clubs and these parties, and who's he's alleged to be that got him in trouble with these underage girls and stuff. This guy's been convicted.
Joel,
or not convicted.
Right?
He's what would you say? They got the goods on him, basically.
He's cooperating.
Yes, and he's cooperating.
Yeah, right.
And his
Allegedly.
attorney.
We really don't know. I'll get her.
Well, I mean, his attorney did say that he agreed that he was cooperating, that he was that he would be worried, or how did he put it? I don't want to say something untrue, but he basically said that if he was Matt Gaetz, he would be very worried. Is basically what he said. And that was the attorney for the guy that's cooperating with the investigation.
Interesting.
He has accounts of trafficking a minor, and that's a mandatory 10 years. So if he's working with the investigation, then he's going to do whatever he can to
trafficking a minor.
That's another
Trafficking.
big one here in UK.
trafficking.
The Black Lives Matter leader who's got several properties now,
millions of dollars
with
worth
the
of
money
real estate
raised.
Yeah, I mean, there's been so much ever since, especially the Trump-Russia narrative, of which went on for 4 or 5 years. Ever since, almost all of that has been seen to be somewhere between nothing and or a hoax. I just tend not to believe stuff that comes out when it's leaked from sources, basically.
Well,
so when a press report says law enforcement sources tell us yada yada yada, it's interesting, but I don't give it much credibility, because law enforcement sources leak things for their own ends, not necessarily because it's true. They want to stir the pot and see what people do.
arguably, the one that feels the strongly about that would have been Bill Barr, who went back and got into politics because he felt so strongly about what you just said. And his Department of Justice is the one that started this investigation of Matt Gaetz. So it might lead you more comfortably to believe, that there is a little bit of fire where the smoke is coming from.
Well, I'm not assuming. I don't have a opinion one way. I just don't regard it as being extra believable just because the New York Times was told by law enforcement sources that something is true. For one thing, they never tell you how credible these law enforcement sources. It could be a janitor in the FBI they're talking to, and they'll still call it a law enforcement source. It could be the director of the FBI. It could be someone in between. They don't really tell you. And the details of what that source is would definitely affect whether I put much weight behind it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a cop could have a hunch.
Exactly.
Could be,
That's a law enforcement source.
What do you think about his bizarre account of what's going on? I mean, do you think that he seems more credible than the sources that you've heard from, or?
what information would I have to base it on? I don't know adult men who have a 17-year-old girlfriends, so I don't know. I have no way to know what's.
I have only seen it once. My next door neighbor, she was 17, and she got married to a 46-year-old with a child.
Ooh.
But that lasted like 4 years, and then she ended up having a child with him and leaving him.
Interesting.
That was it was pretty sickening, to be fair.
That's my age. That's really disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you have guessed that would have been that type of guy, like Biscuit, ahead of time? Like,
it was out in the open. And
no, I mean, did he seem sketchy? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, I didn't know him until after
see.
She'd married him.
Damn, and that was legal.
That was it's legal. I think it's legal. Yeah, after 16, it's perfectly legal.
Wow.
And yes, Carol, the age of consent does vary from state to state.
In the
U.S., I believe in Florida, it's 18. Am I right?
I don't know. Is it a solid 18, or I don't want to say a hard 18, but some states have like variations of age of consent between 16 and 18, and then 18 over, and then
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. If Cypher this were here, he could tell us all about Florida law, both because he's in Florida and because he's a creepy guy.
Yeah, maybe
just kidding, Cypher. You might have to edit that out.
I think 18's got to be should be the right level, but if they went to say 21, there'd be a lot more paedophilia charges, wouldn't there?
Yeah. Hey, look at that. He's here, and he did hear you.
Could lip out.
18 sounds right for Florida.
I'm booking my trip to Albania. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's probably 28 to fly on Spirit.
See what I mean by creepy? He's just hanging out, waiting for his chance to pounce.
Right. They pay you to fly there on Spirit. It's that cheap to fly to Albania. Not a lot of excitement there. So my tweet, did anyone catch my tweet yesterday about the guy who pled guilty at the Capitol riots?
Yes.
Did you get it? The heavy metal thing, and then the reference to Pims that I was joking about Hayden? Did that come through?
No, it went over my head. I'm sorry.
Shit.
No, maybe someone else did.
I don't know. Because the guy actually looked a little like Hayden, and I was going to put his picture up. Then I was like, I don't want to put anyone's picture on the internet, trying to be funny. But yeah, heavy metal guitarist. All right. You never know how stuff's read, because in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that's gold, baby. Woohoo!
And nobody liked it.
Nobody really got it except for me, but whatever.
What did he plead guilty to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Trespassing?
Well, he had the bear spray.
Did he use
well,
it?
I mean, Washington, D.C. is known for their black bear population. So, I mean, he's maybe
in the middle of Washington.
Ooh, Last Dance almost crossed the line there, I think.
Lots of bears in the gay bars.
Yeah, lots of bears. Yeah, I'm sure it's illegal to bring pepper spray into the Capitol grounds on federal property.
I don't know.
I think they're going after the intent.
They have to be. I've heard it described as a mild riot. What do you think about that?
No.
It infuriates me.
I think
it
that
was.
In and of itself, that's an oxymoron of a mild riot. I mean, doesn't really.
It depends on how you calculate it, because the majority of the crowd probably were a mild riot. However, there were small subsections that was much more violent.
Exactly.
Well, that's describing two different events. If you're describing the the rally that was, down the street, that's one thing. But if you're describing what happened at the actual Capitol, then I think that's a person that is reaching hard to deflect.
Yeah.
Oh, even there, I think there's two different things. I think there was a riot outside the Capitol and a lot of violence, and then the people that went in were just.
But you could also make the argument that you can only be violent once you reach the point of being able to have violence, which is only the front line in where you actually get to the Capitol building. All the crowd behind it can't really physically do anything
because there's no one to fight at that where they are.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
The leading edge is obviously where the conflict happens.
That's it. Yeah.
Of course. Right. It's not like there's orcs jumping down from above, landing out in the crowd.
Exactly.
Although it does, now that I just made that correlation, it does kind of remind me of a bit of the Lord of the Rings, that just the way they were just rushing at it. Although in the Lord of the Rings, the castles don't have windows right there, that you bang right in, It really, to me, it seemed like there were obviously security issues. Now, why was the National Guard not already there? I have no idea.
Donald Trump didn't send them there.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I heard it described as a few rowdy protesters, is what I heard it referred
I think
to.
It's more than a few, and some were rowdy, some were violent, and some were just there to break in and take selfies.
Right.
And I'm not sure which ones. I don't think any of them can honestly
how would
insurrectionists.
How would it have been called if, even if most of them was peaceful, but say 5 people got hold of a group of 20 Congress and beheaded them? Would those 5 be criminally? Just those 5 be criminally involved, or would the whole riot be part of that thing?
Involvement is it's not just standing there. It does not make criminal involvement. There has to be some sort of an act, affirmative act.
They
call it.
All the rest of them are going, yeah, do it.
No, you know, there's no way you can be responsible if some doofus. You're in a crowd, and somebody else in the crowd does something that you had no expectation and you didn't support that in any way. Now, if you handed them ammunition or sharpened their machete or something, well, then that's another story. You probably can't say, "Oh, I didn't do anything. I was just minding my own business," and then somehow a machete scraped against my sharpening stone. Who could have imagined that?
When evaluating the situation, I always try to picture myself thinking of when these, like recently we've had some more protests in some of these major cities, and I try to think of myself as, would I try to correct somebody in describing what some of those guys did, burning some buildings down, or throwing stuff at the police, or doing something like that, in how I describe how those people acted that day in Washington, D.C.
Hey, Cypher, how you doing?
I'm feeling pretty creepy.
So what's your personal experience with age of consent laws in Florida?
Oh, jeez.
I never got caught back when I was a young man.
So you're denying it. Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's the appropriate thing to do. Other than that, a non-issue. I mean, non-issue to me.
How about insurrection?
Not what happened.
Are you an insurrectionist?
I am not. I'm a budding young academic.
There we go. We will call you Young George from now on.
How would you classify what took place on the 6th, right? 6th, yeah.
6th, yeah.
It was a major protest.
Major protest, okay.
major protest. But insurrection implies, and we talked about this before, there was not a supply chain established. There was no plan to occupy and remain in the halls and the corridors of power. It wasn't an insurrection, and that's just my opinion. I mean, I understand that vast numbers of people in the States and even throughout the world are perfectly comfortable calling it an insurrection, and that's fun too.
I wouldn't say that's true. The words you see, insurrection, sedition, these were all selected by the left media types, and they, if you follow their headlines, they all have this. They all say the same thing at the same time. You'll see the same words appearing in 10 different places.
I've seen
by magic.
The montages, the video montages, and they put up like 100 different, people saying the exact same words,
Right. And
I must admit, America has a really bad reputation for using the wrong words to describe something.
On January 5th, nobody had ever used the words insurrection and sedition. And on January 6th, that's all the left press was describing it as.
Let me ask you this: Did people break and enter into the Capitol building with the intent of disrupting the government that day?
Some did, absolutely.
Any protest is designed. They're protesting the government operations. Yeah.
Okay, so did they break into the Capitol then, intending to cause physical violence or harm to people?
I don't think they intended to. They did, though, and they're responsible for that.
Well, you don't think so you think if they would have found like Nancy Pelosi, they would have been like tried to reason with her?
That's a good question.
I don't think they would have done anything. The guys that went into Congress were not particularly violent. They were just taking selfies. I don't have any reason to believe they would have been violent with Nancy Pelosi. I haven't seen any not a shred of evidence.
They might have gotten in her face and screaming at her, I mean, right. But that tactic's going on on both sides, out there in the state power centers, when the protests are around the state power centers, then different states are getting earfuls and eyefuls of all types of frothing at the mouth, mob members from both sides.
She, though I really do not like that woman at all, but that is certainly not part of her job description to have to worry about people coming after her. And she is frail and she is old, and like I said, I could imagine.
Yeah, that Nancy.
That I mean, even she shouldn't have to fear, seemingly, for at least violence coming upon her. I don't know what kind of security they have, but it's certainly nothing like the president and vice president, because it seemed like the senators didn't have much,
Yeah, the Capitol Police.
There were stories that some of the break-in people. I don't know what I'm just so don't want to call them insurrectionists, but the protesters. They got fairly close to some of the senators and was it both? That's both the Senate and the House are there, right? Is that right?
Congress, yep, they're both there.
Yeah, both houses are there.
But the Senate was going in to verify the presidency.
That big vote, big vote,
right.
yeah.
Which is certainly basically just formality. But let me quickly, I don't want to make our brother wait here too long, from the Welsh section of the UK. Welshie.
Based Welshman is indeed based. I can confirm that.
What's up, dude? There he is.
Hello, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Faded.
Well, he's got like the coat of arms up above him. I love it.
Yeah, he's getting back. He's recumbent now.
He's reclining. You still got that dog, Welshman?
Yeah, it's so much, please.
All right.
Are you outside?
Pretty good. Very well, thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
insurrection.
It's like his IT man is your brother, Smokesteve.
Yeah, he's got some issues there.
Normally he comes on pretty good, but
Yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
pretty bad tonight, Mr. Welshman. Can't hear you.
Okay.
That's his dog. Is that your dog, Aphid?
Yeah, that was my dog.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you could hear that through this mic, huh?
Yeah. It's out there.
It's not bad enough.
Not that good.
Oh.
Yeah, AOC, she's a freaking whack job.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's an idiot. That's what she is.
Yeah, even like
Unfortunately.
even the older liberal senators and Congress people don't like her.
No.
They're all like, you
Not too
realize
many-
there's a
not too many
lot of
people
other
do.
people that besides the squad, that like they don't represent the whole fucking side of the Democratic Party.
Right.
Right.
It's just
If you watch Fox, though, you wouldn't know that.
the fact that we have
cup
the
of tea. Come on.
Well, that's why I don't watch Fox.
I do.
diversity and multicultural aspects of the society allow that demographic of people to get in and be audacious. I don't like them. Did you remember the one I did? Who's the one from Minnesota? The thick.
Talib, Nashad.
Yeah, Talib. And I did one where I did voice. She actually said, maybe you shouldn't want to have sex with me, and she was talking to a crowd of feminists, really radical crowd. And I manipulated the video and I took the voice real deep on one segment. And then I took the voice way up on another one and just made her look foolish. And it was fun to do.
How do we feel about President Johnson for 2024?
What about Miss Johnson?
Which country is he from?
He's from
Andrew Johnson?
no, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is he running?
If the people want him to run, he will run.
Yeah.
That's the quote.
Please, let's not have any.
I know that's straight out of Idiocracy, man. You get the big guy, the president
It might
had
not be good for the country, but
muscle
damn
shirt.
Is that
it.
worse than having
It would be really
worse
good
than
for
having
the whole.
the guy that ran
He could do.
reality TV show become a president?
It would be
couldn't
good
be.
for the whole Moana franchise. Maui would be
exactly.
president. Well,
He should
President
be-
Maui.
Governor of California. That's where The Rock should go.
No, that's
straighten
Arnie's
those
already
people
been
out.
there, done that.
Man, those people need to be straightened out over there.
It's a good stepping stone. Schwarzenegger being born in Austria could not obviously be president, but
Right.
I guess obviously The Rock was born in the U.S., even though he's obviously a Pacific Islander.
Is he not Hawaiian?
Is it? Yeah, well, that's the
Oh,
U.S.
like
he
Is he
looks.
Hawaiian or is he
like Obama.
Samoan?
He
Is he
looks like
Samoan
a-
or Hawaiian?
He
Stop
looks
that,
like-
aphid lip. Don't get us started.
I mean, I thought like Maui, the character he played from Moana, that was his descent,
Yeah.
And in fact, I know that's true because in that movie, the only non-Pacific Islander was the chicken, the guy who played the chicken. Everyone else was a Pacific Islander in that movie. All the actors.
The Rock was born in Hayward, California.
Damn.
There you go.
Really? I'll be. So it's born on the mainland, but probably
He's American for sure.
Yeah, he's Mary. He's the man.
Where is his heritage from, though? Is that Hawaii?
Yeah, that's the question.
I guess-
Let's see. Johnson's father was a black Nova Scotian with
Interesting.
a small amount of Irish ancestry, while his mother is Samoan. So
Samoa.
There you go,
Oh.
Samoa.
Okay, I knew. Yeah.
There you go.
Wow, what a
he's
that's
got a
cool
pretty
brand.
exotic mix there.
Yeah, that is exotic.
And coincidentally,
He's got the little bit of Irish in there for the presidency.
Yeah.
The old pluralistic society.
Hey, good night, Carol.
Carol going?
Yep, she's got to sleep.
Oh, good night.
Goodbye, Carol.
You've already had a President Johnson as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Andrew
Oh, yeah.
Johnson.
Two of them.
He was impeached.
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon
Oh,
Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Lyndon Johnson. Yeah, yeah.
He's the one who came in and after JFK was killed.
He gave us the Vietnam War.
And I've heard that he was quite a fucking drunk too, LBJ.
Yeah.
Big drinker. Heavy though. I've seen some footage of on the airplane when they are basically assigning him as president, and Jackie's there, Jacqueline Onassis, with the blood on her fucking her dress and shit, and
Wow.
just amazing stuff, man.
It's not just blood; it's
Brains.
brains too. Yeah, it's pretty awful. It's pretty damn awful, is what it is.
It
Yeah.
is.
That's
Yeah. Oh,
not a good time.
No.
yeah. It's hard to believe that somebody actually got to Reagan and came within like an inch of his heart with an assassination attempt. Like,
It is hard to believe.
you know, you would have thought they would have learned everything, but
I remember that guy's name. He was the one who was
John Hinckley.
Yeah,
right?
obsessed with Jodie Foster. And,
Oh yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. Look at January 6th.
shit.
Well, you know,
When you got all those insurrectionists.
when it's right. I mean, you make a point of what's possible if it lived. What if 1,000 people decide they want to take over, or commit a violent act? That's going to be hard to stop.
Right.
1,000 armed people could easily overwhelm those pretty shitty Capitol Police who really aren't exactly the best cops.
What about the White House? Would that amount of crowd be able to take over the White House if they wanted to?
I mean,
they have automatic weapons there, so
They do.
They would make quick work of 1,000 people.
You can
They
bet they
probably got some other stuff there too.
They got a lot of
they reworked their
bombs and the
contingency plan for security over there at Congress.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure. In fact, that was the fence with the razor wire all around. It was all around the White House. They're just now taking it down.
Fat Belly has reminded us that they're really even the Pope got shot. So who could have better security than the Pope?
It's true.
What I want to know is, does the White House really have turret guns in the roof?
Sirhan.
I think
it
there's
has
dudes
missiles.
up there.
Missiles, dude.
Does it?
That's what I.
It was Sirhan, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sirhan. I heard actually.
They supposedly have any.
Or was he Turkish, Sirhan? It
He
doesn't.
was a Palestinian, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pope forgave him.
or Lebanese maybe.
Yep. Pope forgave him, right? And it was pretty heavy. Shot him in. Was he in the Pope Mobile or was he just shaking hands?
He was not in the Pope Mobile. Was invented after that.
Okay. Interesting. Yep.
Crazy.
They got to that woman. What was that in Pakistan? She was a leader not long ago who got assassinated when she was riding in a vehicle.
Malik, I think, was what her.
Yeah, she was the daughter of a previous prime minister. I can't remember.
Right.
Oh, you
Benazir Bhutto.
Bhutto, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was. She went back, and I mean, she was assassinated. Within 24 hours?
Yeah, it was like
That was
immediate.
like a bad decision to go back, but people are
Her father.
people are tough-minded. They want to do what they want to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Leslie.
No, I was trying to remember. Was her father also overthrown in a coup and hanged?
Sounds right. Sounds right.
Politics is a little more violent in the third world.
Guess so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You think they'll go through with the U.S. troops coming out of is it Afghanistan or Iraq?
Afghanistan.
Yeah, Afghanistan.
Do I think they'll harass them exiting?
I don't know.
Is that what you're asking?
Maybe something will happen, and
I listened to the Prez's short press conference about that, and I mean he's made it very clear: don't harass the troops. We're going out. So hopefully that carries some weight. I mean,
Now they see there. I can give Biden some credit for that. So good job on President Biden for getting that stupid thing finished. Well, when it actually happens, I should say.
Yeah, hopefully it does.
Right. Well, they tried to pull out of Iraq, then the whole ISIS thing happened, and they went back. Right.
That's what I'm thinking. Will they have to go back if things go downwards?
You never had to go back to Iraq either. They just decided to do so.
No life tonight. That's life, but not as we know it.
Do you think they'll only not go back when there's no oil left?
There's no oil in Afghanistan.
I thought there was
lots of rocks.
I thought there were loads of oil in Afghanistan.
Right, lots of poppies and rocks.
Heroin.
Great opium.
So it's Iraq then that's got lots of oil.
Iraq has lots of oil.
Correct.
Yeah. That's why they're not leaving Iraq.
They don't get any of the oil. we don't get a drop of oil for our troubles.
What a deal.
It's just stupid shit. We should pull out and stop wasting our money.
Got them a lot of freedom fries, though.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your democracy.
God damn. Oh, clusterfuck.
What are you laughing at, Aphid?
The total utter nutter says, "Take cover. Biscuit is thinking."
Good line.
I'm always thinking.
It's a good line.
You guys want to hear a halfway decent joke, or do we want to stay away from joke time?
What is it?
I would always good for a good joke, but we're not going to have to edit the stream afterward, are we?
No, I can keep it clean enough. It won't be X-rated.
Not too clean.
Not too clean. Back in the woods, there was a birch tree and a beech tree, and they were some yards apart. And one day they spotted this tiny little sapling, that was right in the middle between the two of them, and the beech said, "Well, I think that's a son of a beech," and the birch tree says, "No, I think that's a son of a birch." So, they just, as the months and years went by, the sapling grew and grew, and they couldn't, trees being what they are, the big ones can talk, but the little one couldn't talk, so they didn't understand what was happening. And finally, a woodpecker flew, into their, immediate locale, and they said, "Would you go check and see if that's a son of a beech or a son of a birch?" And so the woodpecker went down and he started pecking, real hard at it. And I go, well, he looks up at the two big trees and says, "Well, it's not a son of a beech and it's not a son of a birch, but she's the best piece of ash that I've ever poked my pecker into."
Dad jokes ahoy.
Not bad.
That's pretty good. I like it.
I like
we will
piece of ash.
We will send your payment to you.
I like species of trees, so that does work. I like it. Piece of ash.
Yeah. We have a bunch of I have a bunch
Get your paper out, Smokesteve, and write that one down.
I have a bunch of realtors, and my friends, from back when I was in business, in Facebook. And there's one in particular who just, I don't know where he's going. He's obviously going to joke sites and selecting and then copying and pasting these jokes. But many of them are very funny. And that one was fairly tellable, even though I didn't tell it particularly well. But very funny. And lots of graphics, too, a lot of cartoon stuff. He's very, very nice, multimillionaire gentleman who's as unassuming as can be. He's, I don't ever talk to him in person anymore because I don't, what do they call that? I don't mix and mingle with the business community much anymore.
You don't, huh?
Network. You don't network with them.
That's it. Network's the right word. Yeah. I used to be I'd go to I was what do they call those? An ambassador for the chamber, and I was in Kiwanis, and was a normal person.
Right.
Now,
and then something
not so
happened.
much now.
Speaking of work, I don't know if I'll be here next week, so you guys can have an aphid lip free weekend.
We'll
No
miss you.
problem.
We'll miss you.
You setting up the pool?
No, I think as it stands right now, I'll be in Kansas City, setting up a beer barbecue sauce restaurant or business. They sell beer and specialty beer and barbecue sauces.
You're
Nice.
starting a business, or you're working?
Working. I'm
Okay.
doing all the signage and stuff I do them all here, and they're opening one up in Kansas City, so I'll be out there.
Nice, man. Good for you.
But I want to do it over the weekend because I don't want to. Well, I don't got time this week to do it, so I'm gonna do it over the weekend. But we're gonna get a hotel and see the sights in Kansas City and stuff. Make a weekend out of it.
Kansas City. Here we come. All right. That sounds awesome.
Total nutter. You got to be kidding. He's kidding about Chernobyl, I think, isn't he?
What?
He says Ukraine has a nuclear power station restoration project. I think it's a Chernobyl joke, but
I would say so.
you never know what insanity
They've
people
spent millions, well, probably billions, actually, making a bloody casket for that bloody thing, haven't they?
Oh, billions. And yes,
Ukraine needs a stimulus package for infrastructure.
Well, they're going to have a nice war, so that'll clean things up, get some urban renewal going.
Is that happening or what?
I hope not. I really hope not.
They should take back Crimea from those Ruskies.
Yep.
But if they do, then there'll be war, right?
Well, they can't do it. They don't. They're no match, and they're not even going to try. It's the usual thing where there's more action on the front in the rebellious areas. And
I'll let you know. We didn't get any last time. Well, no, we did get some last time, but it was a chain. But this time we're going to try to get a legitimate barbecue.
What was that barbecue sauce on Dragon's Den? I forget what it's called now. It's like a jerk sauce. Jerky sauce.
I watched some of that LA Beast, and he's various barbecues and chocolate things, and you were talking about him, Smokesteve. A couple of you were talking about him about a month ago, and I ran across him. I said, "Okay, let's check out LA Beast." That guy's his whole digestive system's going to fall out one day.
Did you see the one this week he did? What was it? It was green chili balls or something.
I'll go look them up. They are fun to watch. I mean,
it was sour chili balls.
Isn't he an ex-professional football
player?
Sauce.
No.
He was like a high school star.
Yeah. And
go ahead, Biscuit.
No, just thanking the guys at the bottom for saying reggae sauce. That's what the one I was thinking.
Oh.
The Jamaican reggae sauce. It's yummy. Especially on chicken.
Right. I think we have to acknowledge a joke that was put out there by There Are Four Lights. Thank you. There Are Four Lights. Very, very good joke.
Oh, he said a joke?
Yes.
Why shouldn't you wear shorts in the Ukraine?
Because what?
Because your Chernobyl fallout.
Chernobyl fallout. I'm having a senior moment.
It would be like your
Nobel fallout.
No,
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl. Okay. Pretty good.
It's a stretch, but we have to give props because nobody else is.
That's right. 2 gold stars for that one.
Exactly.
We've got a breakfast question here, Biscuit.
What do you have for breakfast, Biscuits? Every morning, without fail, I have what's called a full English breakfast.
What is it?
It is 3 rashers of bacon.
Wait, 3 what? 3 pieces? Like
Three pieces of back bacon, not none of this streaky shit you guys have.
Oh,
No, that's pork loin, so pork tenderloin.
the whole
Right?
pork tenderloin. You just
That's
throw it
what
on there,
back bacon is. Back bacon's like Canadian bacon, I think.
Yeah, it's like a pork loin, but it's like a millimeter thick.
Right.
Huh.
So there's 3 pieces of that, 2 fried eggs, two Cumberland sausages, a cup full of a cup full of beans.
Partridge in a pear tree.
Nope. Half a cup of mushrooms.
Half a cup. You have, every morning you have this.
Every morning, and 2 slices of black pudding.
Do you ever have it in omelet form? Some of it?
Nope, just like that in a tray.
Yeah, sounds good.
Do you make it yourself?
Nope, I order it for £5.
$5.
And the Diet Coke.
Yeah.
Not bad.
And that keeps me going. That keeps me going until 6 p.m. every day.
Yeah.
At a restaurant, like they bring it to you?
Yep, they just deliver it. Yeah.
That seems cheap. £5 for all that. Jeez.
Yeah, really.
That's goodbye.
Because it's like what? That's like what, $6.50?
Yeah, about 7, 6.
I like raisin bran with almond milk myself. It's kind of boring, but yeah, that's.
Well,
I don't eat breakfast.
I like a high protein breakfast that keeps me going all day.
I like a good dose of Metamucil with some coffee.
And I like raisin bran because it keeps me going all day in a different way.
It's an old geezer breakfast. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
but the
drink
raisin
coffee,
bran,
but no food.
raisin bran puts the sugar on the raisins. It's a little extra treat. Yeah.
I think, to be fair, that might be my down. It might be my downfall eating all that, because that's enough to keep a grown ass man in energy to work all day. Not
grown ass man
watching videos.
Right.
You're a grown ass man.
Do you eat lunch?
No, I don't. I wait till like 6 p.m.
Dinner.
Yeah.
So, Smokesteve, is it Post or Kellogg's?
Oh no,
It's the purple box, which I think is Kellogg's. I want to
yeah.
say. Yeah.
sounds delicious, fat belly. Rub a piece of bread around, soak up the warm lard, and eat it.
So since we're on the food thing, I do this thing at work where like I bring what I call a hand salad. It's a small sandwich bag full of mixed greens and a tomato, and then I eat the mixed greens with my hands, and then I eat the tomato like an apple, and then I'll have a small sandwich as well. Is that strange to you to eat the greens?
No, it's smart of you not to be a salad tosser. I mean,
my wife thinks it's disgusting that I'm eating like salad with my fingers. But
You wash your hands?
of course I do.
I was going to say,
I've just bought
depends
these
what time,
this
what we did
cereal.
this
I've just bought this cereal. I'm going to replace the filling with
Oh, stop it, Smokesteve.
on a
Like,
cheat day.
you love the hand salad. You admit it.
The hand salad. See, she said it right there. The hand salad.
Do you get like a pre-mixed big thing of it, and then you just put a little bit in a bag every day, like a
The
Ziploc
field
bag?
green. Yeah, the field greens. Well, she bought those sandwich bags that you fold over from like the 70s.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Oh, really? You can still get those?
Yeah, I didn't know you
Apparently,
could.
yeah. A bad bag purchase. It was a rough week for bags, but
No dressing, no dressing, just the sour,
No
bitter,
dressing.
I'll be right back.
No
bitter,
dressing.
And then
bitter salad
the
greens.
last thing he does is he drinks the dressing straight down.
No dressing. And the tomato does not need to be cut. It's easier to eat uncut. Boom. Done.
Oh, the whole tomato.
Whole tomato.
Oh, doesn't it blow up and make a mess when you bite into it?
You get to do it controlled.
Do you do that? Like take a bite of the salad and then take a bite of the tomato, or you eat the whole salad and then you eat the
all the greens first, then the tomato, then whatever else I have.
and then you eat a sandwich.
Small sandwich, very small. Usually one piece of bread cut in half. That's my sandwich with like some deli meat and shit like that in it. Now, normally you would say, well, why don't you put the lettuce and tomato on the sandwich? Because it's messy. I prefer to just consume them on their own from the bag boom, done, gone, and you know.
Oh, no, you don't know what you're missing.
Are you one of those food is fuel guys?
No, well, I have about 6 minutes to eat, and then I go for like a 48-minute walk. That's my lunch break. I hate
Oh, that
sitting
sounds
around.
nice.
I don't sit around. I hate sitting in the same place for lunch. So I eat and run and get the hell out of there and just walk, go out.
Ham or cheese with lettuce and tomato in a sandwich is yum. You get the crispy of the lettuce, the sweet of the tomato, the bitter of the cheese, or the saltiness of the ham, all rolled into one.
I'm all for it. If it's a weekend and I'm at home with my surroundings, I'll make that type of a sandwich. But at work, it's more like just get it done, get out.
So you got almost an hour off for work or for lunch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds amazing. I'm lucky enough to like eat while I'm doing something else.
But the truth of it is, I always have my phone and I'm always available. So I do often take calls during that time. So technically, under the law, I'm working the whole way through. Even though I'm not working, I'm working,
Right.
So it's fine. It works out for me, man.
Good for you.
Yeah. So that's not weird then, right? The hand salad?
No, it's got without dressing. I mean, the salad greens are just bitter. So without anything on them,
You can put a little olive oil on them.
That'd be messy. It'd be all oily.
Well, you just have to use a fork.
Salad is not actually for nutrients. Salad is for soaking up all that lovely oil.
Okay. I don't believe that is the nutritionist's theory.
It is if you're on keto.
See, now, Aphid, you said I'd have to use a fork, but then I'd have to use a solid container. And then I'm talking about having multiple containers and more dishes, where the hand salad, boom.
Now, I'm curious, when you eat, when you have, let's say you have, some kind of stew and some kind of potatoes and some type of corn, do you not mix it all together? Do you have to eat it separately, or are you fine with mixing the stuff together on your plate?
It's called hand stew. Come on, Nathan.
I never. Thank you. The dinner was delicious. I appreciate that. I did make a quick impromptu dinner before I came down. Thank you. No, so I never would have the meal that you just described. Have never had that in my life.
Well, I'm just like, do you have to eat the stuff separate, or can you mix the stuff together?
If I make a beef stew, it's all together. Yes, that's not an issue. But I've never made that.
Aphid Lip's trying to see if you're some sort of an obsessive compulsive guy.
Yeah, well, you say you eat the tomato has to be separate from the lettuce and the sandwich.
If I'm at home, I can make a salad. I can make a sandwich. This is only a matter of convenience at work.
Gotcha. That's just what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it's a matter of convenience.
Because some people don't like their food touching each other. I kind of like to mix it all up. If it goes together, I like mixing it
with a little bit of ranch dressing.
Right.
No problem with that. I used to make on Thanksgiving, turkey, mashed potatoes, peas, gravy on top, make a huge layered thing and then just dive in, all for it. This thing is just more of a convenience thing, I guess.
I guess if there's anything we've learned, it's that you're kind of a stew knob, apparently. You don't like stewed meat.
What is a stew knob?
Smokesteve right here.
The supermarkets here used to sell a salad bag.
He won't be lowered.
With a little sachet of ranch dressing and a little bag of crushed up croutons. And that was the best salad on the planet.
Huh. So what the hell is salad cream?
Salad cream is like a vinegary... It's a bit like mayo, but more vinegary. And
I think we call that creamy Italian, maybe. Something like that. In the States.
I don't know. I don't know what salad cream is.
It's like the consistency of mayo, but it's a lot more vinegary.
Yeah, right. I hear that. I don't like people touching my food. Yeah, I get freaked out by that too. That's why I like to cook.
What'd you throw together for dinner? It was so good.
Oh,
Obviously not stew.
It was chicken thighs cooked with mushrooms and
Ooh.
olive oil and white wine, chicken broth, a little butter, shallots. Did I say mushrooms, garlic?
Yeah.
And then, you thicken it up with a little flour, then mix it all together at the end, season it, and then on the plate you put some fresh Parmigiano Reggiano, which of all the things, I can't believe that would be something I would have to live without. If Parmesan, such a good cheese. Yeah, put that on anything for
We've
Christ's
started
sake.
replacing Parmesan in our stores with the cheaper, what's it called? Parmigiani or whatever it's called. It's not actual Parmesan, it's the cheap imitation Parmesan.
It's cray, dude.
Parmesan's cheap. Why do you have to make an imitation Parmesan?
Because it's 40 pence for a block.
So
I'm talking about the shaker.
Oh yeah, you're talking like Kraft.
Kraft, yeah, that's probably not real Parmesan.
No, it comes in it's a hard block of cheese, but it's only really small, but you just grate it.
You got to grate it, yeah.
Yeah.
Aphid, you don't buy the blocks of Parmigiano Reggiano, the real thing? And
If only if I'm doing I do a chicken spadini with a salad. That's a specialty salad with it, and it takes so long to make that I'll go the extra step to shred that Parmesan.
Wow.
Usually I don't even buy. I usually buy it's still shredded.
Thank you, Sammy Cat.
Not the block. I can't be troubled with that. I mean, cooking food, man, it takes so long, dude. I cook every night almost.
I batch cook and then eat off something I batch cook for,
I'm fine with
4
that,
days.
but
Yeah.
the wife and kid aren't fans of leftovers as much.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have a non-discriminating palate. I'll eat anything that's not, rank and spoiled. And if it's something that I've eaten originally, I mean,
I'm open to just about anything too.
No problem.
I'll try anything. I don't care what it is.
I literally was called the human garbage can, by a couple of members of my family. When I used to be an athlete, I mean, this, Steve. You can eat anything you want, and you still, you're just the prototypical mesomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph. Yeah, you're just athletic. Everything's good to go. Stuff your face day and night, no problem. And unfortunately for me, I became unable to work out, but my appetite didn't leave.
That's the problem.
Yes.
When you're burning like 6,000 calories a day and you're really, messing up your muscles to make them grow more, you can eat. But then when you stop, like your body still wants the same nourishment, but it doesn't need it. But it's hard to lose that desire to eat,
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking about going on like a 5 or 6 day fast, just drinking water, just so that my body can readjust and reset. Because I'm sick of all the hunger pains. Because it's not that I need it; it's just my body's like used to it.
Right.
For the first time, I'm starting to see true yo-yoing in my weight, where I'll deny myself, larger portions and rich foods, and I can push off 20 pounds in about 3 to 4 weeks, and the problem is that as soon as I start cheating on that diet a little bit, it takes over, and I tend to be, what's the right word? Not obsessive, addictive personality. I have an addictive personality.
Well, that's why diets apparently don't work, is because you don't need a diet, you need a lifestyle change. Something you're going to stick to forever.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in school, with the supervision and management, it can be applied very practically to one's own life. So hopefully I'm going to get more smooth and sophisticated, with what I'm doing, and we'll be able to, improve my lifestyle, just like you said, Biscuit. That's what I'm hoping. I'll work on it.
I've just realized you normally shave your head, don't you, Cypher?
I did. I was bald for about 3 years. Yeah, this is.
I was thinking you gave up on the Just for Men, but then I realised no, he's always bald. That's why grey hair looks different.
Yeah. It seems to be healthier. I've figured out some things about my scalp. But all that time I was bald, I had two surgeries to remove 2 different, slow growing skin cancers. And I had that, and I just kept having problems with it, and then slowly and surely I figured out how to take care of my scalp. So you noticed,
Yeah, I found myself that just making small changes over a long period of time is easier than making gigantic, massive changes which you're trying to implement in a short time. Hence the reason
Hence the what?
The reason I'm doing like just a small serving of cereal and almond milk for breakfast, because it's super easy. I even I bring it in the fucking truck on my way to work. I'll mix the shit and eat behind the wheel. It's stupid, but it's easier than picking up a breakfast sandwich or something like that or whatever. So that small change is insignificant over my entire day. That's how I try to roll with stuff like that.
You're still pretty active. I mean, it's not athletic. I don't think it's as much athletic active, but you seem to be very active. And I mean, I know you do outdoor stuff too, so you're burning a good bit of calories. You've got.
I wonder how long it takes to milk an almond into a big jug.
You can milk anything with nipples.
That's right. Little almond nipples.
And technically, almond milk should be called almond juice, because all it is dehydrated powdered almond that they make into a solution, basically mixed with water. And that's one of the problems that the whole milk industry has with almond milk, soy milk, yada yada, these and the other, because
they're not really milk.
They're not milk at all. They're just a solution or a diluted version of a powdered whatever, rice, almonds, soy. There's all kinds of shit right now. It's just
almonds need their own bathroom.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're definitely not milk.
I mean, at least coconut water is more milk-like. The actual stuff that comes in a coconut.
That's just great for hangovers, by the way.
Yeah. The Allman Brothers were a great band. They were great.
Have you ever tried buying coconut milk, though, and then drinking it thinking it was the stuff from inside the coconut?
Well, I've had coconut. Is it coconut milk or coconut water? If you have a hangover and you drink that stuff, you'll be fine in an hour.
Yeah, but there's cooking coconut milk that's literally
no, I'm talking about
the milk that's derived from the white inside.
In the coconut, you drink them all together.
And then there's the water that when you open it and you can drink straight from the coconut. That stuff's the nice stuff.
Yeah, more water.
I relieve my belly. That song, Smokesteve? The lime and the coconut. That's what. Yeah. That's what.
You put the lime in the coconut. You shake it all around.
Yeah. That one always. I always like that one, and the lime in the coconut. Don't worry, be happy song.
Don't worry, be happy. Bobby McFerrin.
Yeah. McFerrin was vocal genius.
Yeah,
he's really something.
He was kind of like that guy from Police Academy, the other black guy who made all the wacky sounds.
Yes, that was fun.
Not to stereotype.
And the other black guy that I can't think of. He always sang in the Beastie Boys song. I can't think of his name. Big fat black guy.
Really?
He did it. Yeah, he did that song. I can't. I'm drawing a blank. I shouldn't even said anything.
Yeah, dude, I know the Beasties pretty well. I have no idea what song.
Biz Markie.
Biz Markie?
Yeah, man, he could beatbox and make some weird noises.
Is he still alive?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's still alive.
He's still alive.
And he has one of the worst songs ever, to his credit, of course. And you say she's just a friend. Horrendous.
You got what I need. He does a great version of the. Oh, I can't think of that either. Never mind.
It's all
I need to
right.
just keep my mouth shut. Oh, I do got something to say though. I got the results from Aphid Lip Juniors. Do you guys remember I ran by you guys before I started it? Not challenge, the system I gave to him after his grades the last time about.
Yeah,
I
there was
remember.
hundreds of dollars involved.
Well, only if he got straight A's.
Yeah.
Because each one multiplied by another $5. So, and it turns out that he got 4 A's.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he got 2 C's and 1 D, but no F's. And he really did, and it was because of the money. It was because he wanted to do
So
better.
what was the payout?
That's
I
great.
think I haven't figured it out. He figured it out, or my wife did, and they said it was going to be around $100. But
Nice.
and it's you think to yourself, oh my god, I can't believe he's paying his kid $100. But like I said in the past, I would have paid a tutor or a class to $1,000 probably this past quarter to raise his grades by that much. And
Good job, Aphid Lips, son.
and
I dare say that a tutor would not have raised his grades by this.
probably not.
It
And
would
I
have
knew
cost
what-
more.
He would have been bored.
It would have cost a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, you should play Wu-Tang Clan Cream, get the money, dollar bills when you're paying him, and like slap it down.
That's
dude.
right.
Like he's earning it. So man, that's
He's
awesome.
stoked. He's gonna get some. He's real into retro video games right now. So like
Nice.
we go to like old Goodwills and stuff where you can buy old stuff, and he's totally stoked because you can buy a lot of old stuff with that.
Have him put his hand out to the screen. And just,
Now, would you let him exactly? Would you let him play like the old school like
That
was it
sounded
called?
heavy last time.
Grand Theft Auto like 2 or 3, where it was like
No.
I run so far away, like
No.
the 80s one, Vice City, which
I'm a pretty big stickler to the system that they have in place for grading video. Like I won't let them play Fortnite, which we go to these parties for these kids. This has been going back 2-3 years ago when he was like 9, and they had these Fortnite birthday parties. And you're point blank range shooting somebody's head off. So I don't let him play that.
Wow. Yep. So he can't play Call of Duty Mobile.
Nope. He's gonna be 12 though, and I told him that he's pretty mature for his age. So I said that we'll do the teen games. He can start playing, but not mature. He can't play mature games.
No.
No Doom Eternal or like that.
I just don't like if they're old games, like I would probably let him play Doom, like the first version of it, and like he's got the GoldenEye, but it's on N64, so the graphics are pretty bad. But when there's blood splattering, I'm just not comfortable with him getting, because I know when I was really into finding videos for Live Leak and stuff. And I think I did that because I was just in preparation for my father's death, and I was trying to make myself desensitized to life, basically. And I know that I made a video once, and it was called the videos of Live Leak or something. I can't remember what I called the title of it, but I did like 3 or 4 stories of movies or videos that were like hardcore. Like the one guy that was that mayor or whatever he was, and he blew his head off. Bud Dwyer, is that his
Bud
name?
Dwyer, yep, from Pennsylvania.
That was one of them, and there was a NASCAR race that was pretty brutal. But anyway, in preparation for that, it messed with me. And when I was done with doing that video, because I was going to do a series of them, and I was like, because the ones I found for Live Leak, I'd watch them one time, I'd cut them, I knew they were fresh and new, and I knew that they'd go crazy on Live Leak, so I'd post them. But I put a lot into those, and I watched them and looked into the background story, and I was like, And I just kind of feel like that stuff can mess with you a little bit, and I just don't think his age is appropriate to deal
Like
with.
a little hint of PTSD, like
just like I'm just not comfortable with it. So
Now,
it's
what
not going to
was-
hurt him. It's not going to hurt him in any way to not let him play it. So,
Yeah, it's better to. I figured out this shit when I was an adult, and I still knew I didn't want to see some of it. So yeah,
right.
A kid might not know what he does and doesn't want to see. He might just see it all.
Right.
What was the NASCAR video that you were just talking about?
It was back in like the set. Well, I got the video. It's because I told you I found a whole treasure trove of my old Live Leak videos, and I have it. I'm gonna. Well, yeah, I could probably. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
I mean, if it's not too bad, we can screen.
No. It's not. I mean, it's not really like graphic. It's just that like the whole front end. It's an older car from like the '70s, like an old like a the ones with the big fins on them. Those road runners with the big fins on them.
Superbird.
Like that shape of a car. So it's from that era.
The Superbird.
And the whole front end of the car gets ripped off in the first wreck. And then he spins around, and then the second car comes in and just nails it point blank where he's sitting and just instantly kills him. There's no doubt about it.
They were doing like 210 in those fucking giant rust bucket jalopies around the track. Same speed they go now, but with like zero technology, just pinning it, dude. Fucking floor.
Right.
Yeah. V8s with everything blown out, as huge as you could go. Compression, God almighty, was through the roof on those engines. They probably ran for like 5 races, and that was it, Maybe 3, who knows, but unbelievable.
Miracle workers in those garages. We, in my teenage years, and we lived about 3/4 of a mile away from Smokey Unick's garage. Do you remember the name Smokey Unick?
I don't know.
He was an engine wizard. He had a garage where he would do prototype builds of different engines, and I'm sure sometimes he would be doing the builds for the engines that would go into the race cars that were active. But he would pin it like you're saying, and from 3/4 of a mile away, it was always fun to know that Smokey Unick was out there working in his garage, because he did it regularly, for a number of years.
That is cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, it's different.
Yeah, tuning those old V8s was a whole different ball game. Now it's all about like turbos and just
different, dependability.
Yeah, like the new Mustang, the high end one that's the Shelby Mustang is 760 horsepower. And then the new McLaren is 760 horsepower, same exact, but I believe it is half of the weight of the Mustang. So
yeah, the power to weight ratio gets
everything.
Yeah, it is. That's why motorcycles can haul ass so quick,
Yeah, but they can't maintain, on the open roads, the McLaren will destroy a motorcycle, but on the city or even suburban types roads, those fucking.
I disagree on that one. There's a couple of bikes that destroy a McLaren.
Yeah,
on a straightaway.
Yeah.
Okay, I queued it up, Smokesteve. I think it's in the waiting room.
I don't know. On the on that, we'll have to discuss that further.
Are you ready? Can I hit play now?
You may.
Uh-oh.
That looks rough.
And so somebody's going to run into him at 200 miles an hour, I take? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was it.
If that had been Tom Cruise driving, he would have just hit it and gone up higher. He would have gone right through him.
Okay, so there's 5 videos. What else did I did this guy. He was a boxer, and back in like the 70s again, and he I can't remember his name, but he ended up at the end of, he was so skinny, and at the end of it, he died. The guy just kept coming back up. He was just getting the shit beat out of him the whole time.
Yeah, is that one of those guys that he looks all drunk and shit, but he's still trying to fight because his brain is shutting down?
he's just. Let me see the last punch that puts him out. Okay, here's the last.
I mean, we could hear it.
Yeah, this is new. This is the new feature of the Smokesteve show.
I don't know. Do we want to go here?
Sure.
Well,
It's not
it's only depicting a punch if it's the last punch.
Yeah, it's just the punch.
Nobody needs to know what happens.
Yeah, it
before
was on
or
live.
after.
It was on Live Leak.
All right, let her rip.
He's a little fella.
Yeah, these are like super
He's
lightweights. Oh yeah, he's done.
Yeah, he's done. That's it. He don't move
Anyway, he
after that.
probably had a cerebral hemorrhage.
It's possible.
I don't know.
He got hemorrhaged.
Possibly head on the. That's what gets a lot of people in.
Yeah.
And these assault cases that turn into murder is the head
Right.
hitting the pavement on the fall.
I had a cousin who was in his late 40s. It was mid 50s, and up in Metairie, Louisiana, he was living up there with another an impaired relative that is one of my relatives that I don't know much about her, but he was her caregiver. He went into a store and fainted, and when he fainted, his head caught perfectly the point of a shelf, a fixed shelf that didn't give way, and it caused him to have to die. He had a cerebral hemorrhage and bleeding in the brain, and that was the end of him.
Damn.
Yeah.
Apparently, Aphid finds that to be funny.
No,
Yeah, why are you
found
laughing, Aphid? Look, come on.
He's laughing
I
at
found
something.
well, I'm just skimming through to see all the stories I did. And the one is this Formula One race. And it was, Tom Price was this good Formula One driver. And, this other guy had his car died and he pulled off to the side of the road, and the two people were running out there to help him. And the one guy had there was a fire in the front of his Formula One car, and he had a fire extinguisher. This is back in the 70s too. And he had a big fire extinguisher with him, and he's running across, and obviously Tom Price didn't know or slow down for that matter. And, just nails the guy, and he just instantly turns to skin, and all you see is skin going over, tumbling over. Just horrible.
Like a pop balloon with red powder.
Yeah,
inside.
exactly.
Let me look at something real quick.
And then the other one was that dad that shot the guy that molested his son in the airport.
Yep, I remember that. Pretended he was on the phone.
And then the last one was a local one. It's a video you see in most of the compilations with the bad car accidents and stuff. And it's this big Suburban, and he goes off the highway and then jumps up in the air and rolls, and he falls out. And that happened just a few miles from here.
I used to have a load of Total Havoc DVDs, and that were pretty good. But
Right.
None of them were fatal.
These were all fatal.
Otherwise, they'd be still allowed, I would imagine.
But yeah, I narrate it and went through and did research on every one of these 5 stories. But afterwards, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to do that again, because it just kind of bothered me, because they all stuck with me, and I was thinking about them. So that's why I choose not to let my kid play harsh video games.
So does that go for yourself for the rest of the internet? You're over that whole, I guess, fascination of we all at some
Pretty
point.
much, yeah. I don't go to Live Leak and watch videos really anymore. I mean, it has mostly to do with what. Well, that's it. Another interesting story I wanted to tell this week, but but I think that because I first started I found Live Leak because my dad was dying of cancer, and I think I was like numbing myself for the inevitable, that what was going to happen. And then
so it was a way for you to kind of to see what mortality and losing your life, and
I was just so bitter with what I knew was the outcome of life right then. Right. Then I was just, first it started out with drag racing videos, crashes. and then it was like all kinds of car crashes.
Yeah.
And then I came across LiveLeak, and I was like, oh wow, look at this guy getting his brains blown out, and it was just went from there. And then it was the only reason I stayed on LiveLeak was because of the community factor of it. And then I started, I knew that I could earn respect by contributing to the site that I was hanging out at, all the time. So
Right.
So I started looking I'd use Google Translate to search different languages and find stuff that nobody else was finding, because, I'd watch news sources and find out what was going on in different parts of the world. And then I'd use Google Translate to use keywords in that language. And YouTube, like somebody told me one time, they're like, oh man, you think this is bad, you should see what you see on the dark web or something. I'm like, dude, YouTube has got, you can't get everything you want to find is on YouTube. It's only on there for 20 minutes before. But in these foreign countries that the languages aren't as prevalent, they don't have the keywords that come up with the other searches. Maybe it's different now, but back then it wasn't. You would find like suicide, if you use Google Translate to search it in different languages, you can find the worst suicides in the world,
Sure.
There were some real contributors that compiled incredible, montages in single videos, and then also just did series of videos. They would upload all the time.
And were they just surfing the net and finding it in obscure places and putting it all together?
There's methods. I'm sure that there are, you get into the binary engineering world and you have any skill sets there, they know how to perfectly, use not so much an algorithm, but they do use search parameters that are different than what a normal user would use. I'm sure of that, and they know, and a lot of them are college educated. They know where to go for, sources. I mean,
now, do you think that the heavy hitters, did they make any dough off of LiveLeak?
No, I'll tell you firsthand, because I have 30 featured videos on LiveLeak, and I never made a cent off it. I got 26 million views, and I never made a cent off.
I don't know how I missed your content. I guess I came.
Well, you might like if it's featured content, you wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like my Ursays, I got tons of Ursays.
On YouTube, and this is verified, you could have made between about 800 and 2,200.
If you search YouTube for my name, you come up with a lot of my featured videos that I had on LiveLeak that were ganked off of LiveLeak and uploaded to YouTube.
Right. They'll do that.
If you had 26 million views on YouTube, would equate to between 800 and 2,000 per million in payout.
Right.
The average is around 12 to 1,400. But sometimes
I did earn money. They had a system on LiveLeak for a very short period of time, but I never got paid for it. Huh. It was like I don't remember. It was like, it wasn't like real money. It was like money you could spend on LiveLeak merchandise. And some people shave their eyebrows to collect LiveLeak merchandise. And some people, he's not even, obviously not even listening.
Yeah, he's
off in,
he's in the zone. It's a good place to be.
He's off in a cup of bean and backham land.
Playing Tron.
He's surfing the pluriverse. I surf the pluriverse regularly.
Yeah.
But when big videos would, because I was subscribed to have notifications to like the news, all the news things, and when the big ones would be, you would know that like some of these dash cam or police cam videos would be released, and me and Mr. Godtu was real into it, and DCM Fox, I'm sure some of you from LiveLeak remember that name, and One Irishman, and there was a bunch of us that you're saying. And we would compete. So like one of the videos I have with the most views was a popular one of those videos, and it wasn't featured. It was just for some reason when you would search it on Google or whatever, my video would show up before the one that was on LiveLeak would show up. So my comments were like very few because the people didn't have their whatever a membership or whatever to leave a comment, but my
They
views
didn't have an account.
right.
One of
My-
those
my
names
views were
one of
Go
those
ahead.
names you just mentioned, David, turned out to be a person who engaged in a lot of conflict on Live Leak.
DCM Fox.
I'm not going to say, but
I had contact with that guy, like not personally, but me and him. Because I wasn't like how most people were with him, so.
I'll
But he had
put in
some health issues, and that's kind of why he was so prevalent on searching for videos, because he didn't have good health.
okay.
You guys familiar? I think we've talked about him before. Dead Bug.
Yeah, he made the
plug.
English guy where he would make the
Yeah.
videos with the like stories.
He's
Serial killers.
Yeah, he always said macabre.
Yeah, I follow him on YouTube, and he shifted over. I put a note up on the YouTube stream, and it didn't migrate over to StreamYard, but Odyssey, ODYSEYEE. ODYSE Odyssey, I think is what it is. Yeah, Odyssey.com. And he moved everything over there, and he's masterful, his editing and multimedia skills. He puts together, like 10 to 20 minute productions regularly. And he's over there, but it's a video site. I checked it out, not real thoroughly, but I did create a cipher. It won't let you put a space, so it's cipher - this, and then from there I haven't uploaded anything yet, but I may do that, but I don't have quite enough time to putz around, with video creation right now, because of school. I'm doing a lot of school.
The worst video I saw was on Live Leak. First time I ever went to Live Leak, actually, was just two police officers knocking on someone's door, and a guy answered with a gun, and he dropped his gun and got blasted away. That's the worst video I've ever seen.
You didn't go there anymore, did you? I think you said
Nope.
You went there one or two times, and that was it.
I went there once. I saw a parrot biting someone's teeth. The first video.
Tender heart there. You got a tender heart.
And then the very second video was that police shooting, and that were it. So, but I still think that my mind is still innocent, and I'll keep it that way.
That's good.
Good plan.
Good plan. No harm, no foul there. That's for sure.
Cypher, I didn't have a beard a lot back in my Yearsay days either, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah,
I haunted that place for about 5 years. I'm sorry, Smokesteve. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so the trial of Derek Chauvin just came to an end, the litigation part of it. So,
did it? We're going to have some answers.
So let's just go through the crew here. Not of what you think it should be. What do you think will happen? Guilty or not guilty? What is your prediction, everybody? Anyone?
At least one charge or two charges they'll be guilty, and he may not be
At least
convicted of first-degree murder. I think that he'll be, I guess the sentencing comes after the verdict. So I think that in the sentencing, he'll be somewhere between 5 and 10 years. And then if you really remember him at all in a few years, he'll get out after about 3 years. I
don't think he's being prosecuted for first-degree murder. I think they dropped that charge.
They dropped that on the second degree.
Second degree and manslaughter, I think, too. So
yeah,
guilty.
Personally, I think he's going to get away with. He's going to get away with the second degree. He's going to go down for manslaughter, but he should go down for full-on murder.
Aphin, what do you think's going to happen, bro?
I mean, if he doesn't get convicted of something, there's going to be a lot of looting going on.
So you're not secure in the fact that you think he's going to get at least rung up for something?
I mean, statistically, I mean, he's got a good chance of getting off. I mean, there's only been like one time, and it was a recent thing where it was a female cop that shot somebody from Australia. They were she thought she heard a noise. It wasn't that long ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. But most of the
Minnesota,
time,
right?
yeah, most of the time they get off. So
Yeah, but that was an instantaneous thing. What Derek did was 9 minutes, and he was still on him for 3 minutes after he was dead.
yeah, I think if you run him, yeah, I think he's going to be charged with something because
No,
I think
convicted of something.
I'm convicted of something. Yeah, there's like, I mean, not to bring race into it, but there's two or three African Americans on the jury. So I mean, either it's going to be a mistrial or he's going to get convicted.
It has to be 12, right, for conviction.
Unanimous.
But it could be a mistrial if there's somebody on there that's like, no, he's not. He didn't do it. I'm not gonna. They all have to agree.
Yeah, it has to be unanimous.
You guys remember Greg? He's joined us before, right?
Tapple? Yeah.
That's Greg.
I feel like every time he joins, you forget who he is.
No, I don't. I know Gregor, the old G-man. How you doing,
How are you
buddy?
guys?
Are you drinking at 7 o'clock in the morning?
That's the pub. It's the pub.
A 16-ounce Heineken? Is that a Heineken in a 16-ounce form?
No, that's a Qingdao.
Ooh, Qingdao. Very nice.
Similar, canning, artwork, to Heineken.
Yeah, it is.
Steve, I've been listening to reading some of the transcripts of the defense witnesses that were called, and they don't sound like they were very impressive. So I think I think there's a good chance he will be convicted of a serious offense.
I hope he gets the highest prosecution.
Well, I'm guessing that, like Cypher, it'll probably be manslaughter, but if not, it'll be the highest one.
I think it's going to be manslaughter.
But I haven't seen the defense witnesses. I haven't seen the defense witnesses, but the prosecutions weren't that convincing for me.
Well,
maybe
on
it's
questioning.
Go ahead,
Chauvins lawyer kind of picked them apart a bit. I thought, anyway, from what I've seen.
Did you? I thought that Chauvin's lawyer was kind of not very good.
I'm glad that I haven't had the time to get too involved in it. I mean, even on were you going to say something, Greg?
Yeah. Well, he's on his own, isn't he, Chauvin's lawyer? And there's like 12 people working.
It looks like it is, but he's actually part of a bigger firm, and he's just because of COVID, he's there alone in the building, but all the back work is done with all his colleagues back at the offices.
It just seems to me a lot that, from a legal thing, I think he's done it very well because the prosecution are kind of relying on the emotion of it with many of their witnesses.
Yeah.
English Bottle Cap has said he will appeal against the conviction on the grounds that he was trained to restrain in the manner he. U.S. You can't appeal on grounds like that. What do you mean?
You cut out.
You're skipping out a little. Your feed.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I should just shut up.
No, you're back.
No, I wanted to hear your point.
Juries are never wrong. That's kind of the general rule of U.S. law. So when you appeal for something, you can't appeal based on the jury unless it's an outrageously wrong verdict. So if you can't appeal on the grounds that the jury reached the wrong conclusion based on the evidence. You have to appeal based on an invalid instruction or the judge letting in evidence, an error of some kind, or ineffective counsel or something like that.
Theoretically, what he could appeal on is if he found a video of them training them to do exactly what he did that was, say, evidence that wasn't available at the time.
So sometimes you can appeal based on new evidence.
Only
if you can show that it was unavailable to you when your trial started.
I think his boss and the other higher ups at his department saying that he was wrong and he should have stopped when he stopped resisting. Hurt him,
Yeah.
Well, it should not have kept him on the floor or in prone position when his hands were cuffed. His hands were cuffed long before he even got in prone position. So why was he even there in the first place?
Well,
Right.
you have to remember that he didn't a priori think the guy was going to die. And
I mean, I don't know. He
So-
didn't seem concerned about his.
No, it was just like one of the witnesses said. He looked very comfortable, sat on top of his neck.
well, I mean, it was not
I mean,
acceptable.
the guy pissed himself and was just dead.
Yeah.
And he was still kneeling on his neck.
And
Yeah.
what about when both of the other officers that was on him both said to Chauvin?
Those guys, I think, need to be held responsible
I
a little
agree.
bit too.
I agree with both.
They told him, "Shall we get him up?" And he says, "No, not at the moment."
Yeah, that's
Twice.
not enough. I
They
know.
should have done more.
What that tells you is that they wouldn't have done the same thing. But what they should have done was pulled the fucker off.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's negligence involved here, and the fact that it was an allowed move to do when somebody is going fucking berserk, but not when they're seemingly unconscious and then definitely unconscious. Like at some point in the zone there, you say, okay, he's subdued.
Right.
Let's roll him over and release the pressure on his chest and his whatever the solar plexus and stuff, so he can inhale, or at least make some action to.
Why didn't he get off him when one of the officers said he hasn't got a pulse? They checked his pulse and he stayed on for a further 3 minutes.
That's the part that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That almost becomes Bizarro World. Why it extended for the length of time beyond when it needed to extend?
And he didn't testify in his own defense, which is
right.
not a great sign.
Well, it would have just incriminated himself.
Well, that's why. Right.
That's specifically when the judge asked him, "Did you make this decision on your own without any influence?" He said yes. So he knows he cannot talk his way out of this one. His lawyer certainly.
That's a dodgy bit for me. Yeah. If you think you're innocent, then you want to explain yourself. Or you want to have the opportunity to explain yourself. When half the country hates you, it's you want to have your say.
It may have been advised by his lawyer that there's nothing he can say or do that would improve his situation. He'd only make it worse if he talked.
Yeah.
Well, he would have to answer these questions.
Take the fifth.
Well,
These questions that Smokesteve has suggested, he would have to answer them. Why did you go for 3 minutes after the other officer said there was no pulse? He'd have to answer all those questions.
Yeah.
And he couldn't come. There's no way he could come up with an answer that would do anything but incriminate him more.
Right. The lawyer would just say, "Fine, we understand it is a move that's allowed, but is it allowed after somebody is seemingly incontinent, unconscious, and then even further than that, like literally without a pulse?" So we're talking, dead. So how long does the move extend into perpetuity that he could just kneel there for the whole fucking night? I mean, come on, like
It was strange. I mean, it was, a lot's on that guy, and for good reason.
I mean, he was already calm and sat down on the pavement side. He'd got in the car and then climbed through because he was paranoid of being claustrophobic. That he climbed out the other side. How did he get through one side to the other?
No, I mean, I think Mr. Floyd was under the influence, but
I think he was having a heart attack anyway, or a seizure or something. He said he couldn't breathe in the car.
I've watched the entirety of all the court case, and his levels was actually relatively low, and also his levels were metabolized. Therefore, it had already started metabolizing in his system before he died.
Mrs. Lip has watched the entire trial too, and she's fired up over there.
Dude.
Oh yeah. Well,
what does she say?
well, Aphid Lip, you could stop your cam and then let her talk, and she wouldn't be on camera.
No, she won't. She wouldn't go that far.
Just dictate what she's saying, bro. You can do it.
Well, I can't because I can't hear her, and I pull the thing aside and try to hear
what's her general view?
Oh,
what's
she's
her general view?
She's like, she said, and she's not, like we live outside of Ferguson, well, not outside of Ferguson, but outside of St. Louis. So, we've been in close proximity to the riots in the past. And she's like, if they don't convict him and put him in there, that she's going to go out and cause hell because
this is Lip. Start with Aphid Lip.
Well, the protest protest vigorously. I could see that.
She's been watching it, a lot.
I picture
she's yelling at me, what about the carbon monoxide thing and all this? And
that was ridiculous.
She thinks the defense has been a joke. She thinks that guy's a clown. Which the clips I don't get the chance to watch that shit, but the clips I have seen
was the last thing, wasn't it? He said that the oxygen level was 98%, therefore the carbon monoxide could not be higher than 2%. Yet the defense was saying that his carbon monoxide could have been above 15%.
Right.
But I'm going to do a way back machine move here, just real quickly. I literally became, I think, there was a type of mental illness that overcame me when the OJ verdict came down like it did. But, I watched that whole trial. And, at that point, I was a tradesman. And, I was just to hell with working. I'm going to watch the trial. And I watched that. How long did that go on? 2 months? It was something like that. It was a long trial. And
there's a massive difference, though, between OJ and this. Because
many
videos were there? There were like 20 videos of him doing it.
Yeah. And so I've learned my lesson about getting too emotionally involved in real high stakes, court cases that are really volatile on a cultural level, on a political level. I'm not about to get my heart and soul into the opinions of that. It wouldn't be right wing. It would just be telling everybody to take a chill pill, but I wouldn't say it real nice.
Yeah.
So I just can't stand some of the, over here on the sidebar. I think That's Life, But Not As We Know It said it's manipulated protest. The whole thing is being orchestrated at national levels by multiple, special interest, community organizers. So, it's fine to protest and it's fine to have strong opinions, but when you get into, you get into a type of, I guess you would call it civil rights issues, and they're pursued. I've had admiration watching in the 1960s when there first started being organized, resistance. What they call it is passive resistance. And just don't comply with orders. Go places where you were told not to go, the ridiculous, Jim Crow stuff that were separating, spaces for racial reasons.
Rosa Parks.
Yeah, and I admire all of those phenomena as they occurred then. But, in the 70, 60, what is it, 40, 56, 60 years since, that there's been this enormous, outlay of resources and goodwill, in my opinion, of the total society to the special interest groups in society. And then, we got back into this period where the response, the political response and the protest response to events are they're way out of parity with what's actually happening. One idiot basically totally violated another idiot and who was drug affected, in my opinion. I'm not sure what it was that you said, Biscuit Vapes, on Mr. Floyd's, fentanyl levels.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, it was stated that his fentanyl levels was actually very, very similar to the amount given therapeutically in hospital.
Yeah.
No. The prosecution's witness, the defense asked the prosecution's witness if you would find this guy in a house with the levels of drugs in his system, you would assume that's an overdose. And they said, yeah, in all likelihood, yeah. So he had high levels.
Yeah, but the levels in his
meth
blood.
and fentanyl.
What was said later was that the levels in his actual blood was the same amount that you'd find in a therapeutic patient.
You know, there's
I haven't seen that,
I think
know.
it was 14 parts per million or something like that. It was a very low dose. It was like he'd taken one pill.
Wow.
I think he had like 4 parts per million, or 11, and 4 is the amount to kill you or something.
Yeah, I want to see that part of the trial, Biscuit, to see if you're right about that. But I wanted to make one quick final point.
I think that was in day 8 of the trial.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to make one more point, and then I've been talking too much. But there's a difference between wanting equity and parity and social justice and wanting revenge. And what I'm seeing way too much is that because of the totally out of proportion responses and demands and violent violence, I guess is the right word, property damage, mobs, things like that. I just see this march towards revenge instead of towards equitability, and I don't like it. It's smacks of Marxism, and I hate what happened to George Floyd, but I don't like communists. No. I mean, I know they don't like what are the Nazis called? I forget. I'm having a senior moment.
Fascists.
Yes. The Marxist folk don't like fascists, and I've been able to ameliorate and moderate my stance so that I'm not really right wing. I really am changing. There's this wonderful change, in my opinion, that's happening in my intellect.
You're becoming more Marxist instead of fascist.
No, I'm becoming smarter and more educated and knowledgeable, and I'm able to think my way through these problems rather than have these knee-jerk emotional reactions. I mean, there's a few of you here that know, and some of the sidebar folk know how vicious I was on FARC with my debates. I mean, I was vicious, and I'm not proud of that really when I look back at it. I don't feel particularly apologetic because I was scuffling around with people who were vicious towards me, but it's not.
Is that what you said?
What?
What'd you say, FARC?
Did I say FARC? Because
Yes.
I had the same experience with
FARC.
FARC.
I was going to ask what it was.
FARC.com. They're fairly well known on the internet. I'm sorry that I actually got completely 100% shadow banned on. I mean, literally, I saw it happen, and I mean, I hated that. But then on LiveLeak, the moderators and the admins and the owners of LiveLeak, allowed the fighting. And I mean, even after the big changes came, what is it, around 2018, 2019, somewhere around then, it started. And I mean, they still allowed the cursing and they still allowed the name calling as long as it wasn't, racist, as long as it wasn't, a violation of standard, civil rights, Title VII, violations.
Let me pose a related question to this subject that we're talking about, but on a newer case. To me, it seems that if you make a mistake when you're at work and it results in your company making a loss for the quarter or whatever, you're probably going to get fired. If you make a mistake at work that kills somebody because you reach into the wrong pocket, you should probably get criminally charged. Now, there was an officer here in the U.S. who recently pulled out what she thought was her taser, but it was her service weapon.
I call bullshit.
And she
said.
killed the man
Yeah.
and yelled taser before she shot him. And she shot him right in the side of the ribs, and it looks like it went right into his heart on that angle.
How long was that woman working in the police force? 25 years?
25 years.
26
Yeah.
years.
25
26 years, and she doesn't know which side of firearm is on. I don't think
I'm
so.
not going to be misogynist. I'm not going to say anything.
I think she.
I know what you're thinking, though.
I think she thought it was her taser.
I feel the need for a sandwich.
And also, aren't tasers like bright
Somebody
yellow?
makes me a sandwich.
They are bright yellow.
And wouldn't you go like this and hold it there for a few seconds? And
Well, in normal,
and bright yellow, aren't
whether
they, as
it's
well?
snack
Oh,
or-
it sucks. That's another one that sucks, you know.
But
No,
like if you're
it
if
was a totally chaotic situation.
right.
The guy had been almost handcuffed, jumped back behind the wheel. There was a primary officer, in front of him, holding him like this, and she snuck her taser up kind of under his armpit, and she thought she was tasing him in the ribs. But actually, of course, because of the angle, boom, it smoked him, dude.
Yeah. I mean, that Biscuit's got a point there between left and right. You know, if you've always had the lethal weapon on the one side,
primary side.
it's like, yeah, and it's just, it doesn't make sense that
They-
would be.
They need to have
no.
those tasers not act exactly like a gun. I mean,
It's
the
gonna
handle,
have a trigger. The same
yeah,
thing
it's
as a
just
gun?
it's just like a gun.
Well, that's a mistake.
Oh, my camera. I gotta go to. I'm not 4K anymore.
Oh, yeah, it's happening.
Not even 1K.
0K, you frozen, dude.
5G, man.
It's
5G.
it's a shame. I'm going to false advertising now.
Look at this. Yeah, he talks the talk, but do you walk the walk?
It could be, it could be the network.
No, it's my camera's it's because I was using my Canon. I'm gonna have to go out. I'll be right back.
It's all right, buddy. No worries.
Yeah.
So, how things going on the Pacific Rim, Greg?
They're okay.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
they're okay. We had an
You,
event yesterday morning.
You Pacific Rimming?
Entertaining about. Yeah, well, not yet. Not yet. Still married.
I finally
Yeah,
got
it's
out of
okay.
the Chinese IT stocks and the Chinese tech stocks. I'm pissed off at China now. Take my money, and
That'll show them.
yes, that's right. I sold at a loss. By God, I showed them.
How is it, Greg? There, everything opening up for you? You guys getting out, getting the family out, or are you still jammed
Yeah,
in?
I've been out for a year, man.
Oh, really? Huh? Yeah.
March 2020.
20.
I was out.
Yeah.
I was out of lockdown. Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
I arrived in January 2020. We was restricted, and then I was fully locked down for a few weeks. But I've been out since March 2020.
How is it with school for the kids? They get their temperature taken every day.
No. They work. I'm at the same school.
Okay.
You go in, and none of that. No mask. You have some. None of my new. I work at a new school. My last school. Some of the kids wore masks, but not.
Okay.
Generally not.
Yeah, and part of the narrative here in the U.S. about the Asian countries was that they all wear masks anyways, so it's no big deal for them. Like it's a normal everyday occurrence. Is that a true?
Not as much as it has been, but yeah, it is true. I came to China first in 2002, and people wore masks then just because of the pollution in most places,
Right.
Or sometimes the climate. You have a harsh wind,
Right.
Interesting.
Major
But
urban areas.
It's probably, I don't know, about 30% of the people here wear masks now, I'd say. And this is
Okay.
now.
Cool.
But you still have to
100%.
have them on.
100% of the kids. 100% of the kids at my daughter's school do not wear masks at all here in UK.
Ah, good. Yeah, it's not good for them. And no, it's gone. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, here in the States, kids are encouraged to wear masks throughout the entire day.
That's cool.
I'm laughing at cup of tea sidebar comment.
The UK also, yeah, I think that's the case, but it's not mandatory.
So, Biscuit, your kid doesn't have to wear a mask?
Not anymore, no.
Cool.
Well, she didn't have to wear one from the start.
Speaking of nasty,
I gave my daughter the option.
Can't unsee that.
Right.
First day back after first lockdown, she was wearing one of those plastic shields.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then she moved on to mask because the shield just kept blowing about in wind.
Yeah.
It's calmed down here since maybe June last year. It's got a lot. Beijing is still quite strict. You still need to scan. I went to Beijing a few months ago, and it was just before Spring Festival, and you had to scan to go into a shop, to a bar, to a restaurant. You had to scan your health code to check you weren't.
Really?
You weren't a leper or something. Yeah.
There's a big thing in China about these forced workers or something, isn't there?
Oh, I haven't heard that. I wouldn't want to talk about that.
Well, they won't let you hear about it in China, surely.
Yeah.
What are they called? Mazes or something? Misers?
Not sure.
You're not sure? You don't want to say?
I don't want to knock at the door either.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, bad conversation. I'll shut up.
Yeah, you know. Yeah.
I forget what they're called.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, but yeah, I mean that's interesting, man.
I got a cute little.
I haven't heard either.
I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, that's just a little insight into how you have to think, though. That's very deep.
It's being reported quite a lot here at the moment about.
Well, you did.
Carted
you did
about
have the guy. You did have the guy. He wrote in a Christmas card a few years ago to a British guy in a Tesco's Christmas card.
I heard
Remember
about
that story, and they say this is so and so from Shanghai. We are being made to work. Blah blah blah. Tell this man. And like a 6-year-old kid found it for Christmas. Oh, mommy, look at this.
Yeah.
So she called the police, and it came out on the news.
Christian police.
This card was made in Shanghai?
Yeah. We're being made. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Informers.
Yeah, the dude who made the card snuck the
yeah.
note inside the card. Yeah, pretty heavy, man. Totally.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Just got to have good common sense and good ethics and morals, and you'll get through life just fine.
Yeah.
I have an interesting little, thing that's happening for me. That's funny to me. Do any of you listen to Tony Meep's, music and cover songs channel, MEEP? He was on here about 3 weeks ago. I think he may have been on just as Meep. I don't quite remember exactly, but he private chatted me and said, here's my email address, and we did have a little bit of discourse back and forth. And he has taken one of my pictures that is a Deep Dream Generator generated picture, and it's really cool effects. And I've got this, I've affected this sort of goblin look. It was when I was bald, and I'm going like this, and then the special effects are there, and that on his latest upload, that is the cover, picture for the whole song. So it's pretty, and he gives me I'm working on it.
Yeah, I remember Meep. The name Meeps. I don't remember what he looked like, but
he didn't use a camera. He got on the show and he talked, but he like a few of your other guests, he didn't have a cam.
Cool.
What about those guys from last week? I saw Hayden's show, and I thought I'd have a look. It was interesting, very interesting.
Yeah, he's knows how to get a fact pattern together and then work it to its best to make it as interesting as he can. Does a good job with it. He's an excellent satirist. He's smart as a whip. He's very smart. Good guy. He's a very accomplished person.
Hayden, yeah, he's the man.
Yeah.
No, you had that lad chasing the girl around online last week.
Yeah, I don't know if that was real or not. I was trying. I think
it was odd. It was odd.
Yeah, that could have been just.
It all felt like a setup to me.
Like they knew each other, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Troll action going on. That was fun. They were cute.
Alex did a good job with the blocking as well.
Yeah, he did. He came back and did.
We can not bother with naming that person, but that was a mighty dicey, toxic personality, going on there.
It was. I just take them as they come. I don't really. It.
Yeah.
I give everyone a chance, and
absolutely.
If looking at these pictures in my background, it's just made me realise: is there a safety on a taser?
Probably not, because it's like an immediate action weapon. So
she had to undo the safety on a handgun before she shot him, then, didn't she?
No, cop guns don't have safeties, bro.
So they're not. Oh, right, okay.
Glocks.
Negative. Not the police models. Because there'd be dead cops with their safety on if that was the case.
And they're never supposed to pull them unless they are planning on using them. So it's not like they're going to play. Juggle them around for laughs.
Not gonna go.
Right.
Hopefully.
Right, just saying.
And they had the 40 cal for a while, but then they decided that the 9mm with high rev, whatever the hell they call it, ammunition was better, and they can carry more rounds. So they went back to the 9.
Do they use hollow points, or is that because of the fact that they're in the positions they are? Do they try not to, do that, cause absolute most damage they can? I don't know. Do you know?
I think they use like a Talon type round, which isn't a hollow point, which goes like totally frangible. It like opens up and makes like a bigger wound cavity, but it doesn't, dissect.
Right.
So. Wouldn't a good idea to have every magazine loaded with 2 rubber bullets at the top of the magazine first?
No.
That's
a terrible idea.
No.
Don't you think it'd be a good idea? Because then you've got the non-lethal first, and then if they get past those 2 rubber bullets, they deserve to die.
Yeah, they get past it. You're dead.
If you made a cop comedy film, you might want to do that.
Yeah, you have dead cops because most of the time, like it's the first or second shot that either makes or breaks the whole thing. So,
Biscuit, you remember making fun of that little, my carry weapon, the 380, the Kel-Tec 380. You said, is that what women carry in their handbags? I have a pretty good line, but with hollow points, loaded with hollow points, it's not going to stop like if a really big, ferocious person, a 250 pounder, came at me and I pulled that. It wouldn't immediately drop them, but it would incapacitate them within half a minute to a minute because of what it would do internally. So I'm defending my carry weapon, you see.
The 380 is. But if it was a 38 special, you'd have a lot more.
The 380 is in between a 22 and a 38. The round is bigger than, a good bit bigger than a 22, but it's a good bit smaller than 38. I had a 357 for a while, but it was a piece of shit. It was a Taurus, and I don't know if the barrel was bent on purpose. I have no idea, but I'm not that bad a shot. I've scored fairly well, when I was military and with a long gun, but I was getting right within 10 yards of a target on range, and with this 357 Taurus, and I just kept firing at it. And I don't know if the trigger pull was so hard that I had to put so much pressure on the trigger that it was pulling it offline.
Does
But
it
I
not
never,
have
I never hit the damn tire. I must have fired.
Did it not have an adjustable sight, rear sight?
No.
Not a revolver.
Yeah, it was a revolver. It didn't have that.
Yeah, it wouldn't have any
Not a bad
adjustable.
question, but it didn't. But yeah, go ahead, Steve.
What was it, like a 2-pound or 3-pound trigger?
It was. I remember it being way too firm, and I have a feeling that it was. I mean, and I mean, when you're dealing with high velocity, downrange, targeting, it doesn't take much to take a bullet offline. It's not much at all. So I don't know, but anyway, that's a stupid story. I got rid of it, years and years ago.
Yeah, those Tauruses are like $300 new.
Yeah.
So you're not getting.
I made a real bad mistake. I bought a Jimenez arms 9mm. And have you ever heard of how they're trashy? They just it's Jimenez is the first name. I want to try to make it sound Hispanic, but Jimenez arms and JA9 is what they were called, and junk. That one was junk. And that one was also it was 300 or below when I bought it new, and I took it to, trade it in. And the guy, $25. I'm not giving you more than $25 for it, And, I want to get out of here. Get it out of here.
Welcome back.
Yours is a bit like this one, isn't it?
That's the replicant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you doing that. Yeah, it was very impressive when you did. I thought you had a real firearm there, and then you said, "Oh, it's not real."
It runs on CO2.
How's that? What was that caliber? A 25, right? Aphid lip that you had, 25 caliber.
I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah,
it's still sitting in that cabinet.
Yeah, that thing has a lot of value, and yeah, I mean you don't seem to be too alarmed about your neighborhood or your prospects of having to ever use it, but
we'll see. Well, we got 2 new neighbors moving in. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah.
It's always worse bit about neighbors moving out. There's always someone you don't know what the other person moving in is going to be like.
Well, the one right next door, he was an older guy and he passed away. And then 2 doors over, there was a divorce in the family, and she held on to it for about a year, and then she's moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a spud gun. I'll go get it. It's right here.
What do you say? A spud gun?
What, a potato spud gun?
I think
I've fired those before. Potato guns. They're you light them. You spray hairspray into the large chamber area, and it builds up a volatility, and then you ignite it with just you just go choop, like on a flint.
Looks
the
like
trigger,
a homemade one, Aphid.
Yeah, the trigger. Yeah, that's similar. The trigger. Yeah, that's very similar. Yeah,
it's the fuck you 5000. Although one of the zeros fell off, so now it's the fuck you 500. But you can see the middle logo here. It looks like a hand flipping you off.
Is that a stabilization handle off a drill?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
And that's it. You put hairspray. Yeah, well, I'm pointing at it like you can see me pointing at it into that real large chamber. You spray hairspray, right?
You shove the potato down there.
Right.
And then you unscrew this cap right here.
Right.
And spray. And then there's a electric grill igniter right here. You push the button.
Right.
Blammo.
It's not a flint igniter. It's different.
No, it's from electric grill.
Electric grill, yeah. I mean, when I was about 14 or 15, inland in Florida, one of my best friends had his father had a friend on a river somewhere about 2 counties over, and we went over there. And this old cracker guy, had a potato gun.
There was a guy on Lively that had guns, and he had like this ballistic gel that he would shoot the gun into. He only made like 3 or 4 videos, and I made a video, and I just totally mimicked like his everything, how he did his videos, and I used the potato gun, and I have a wrist rocket slingshot.
You use Jello?
No, I set up Little Hug. Those juice things, they're called Little Hugs. They're like, red or cherry. They're these little plastic little mugs with tin foil on the top that you can poke a hole in and drink out of. And I set them up, and I was like, because he used to always say, like, any good, logistics, I don't know, measurement is through ballistics gel. And I said the same thing, but I said any good ballistics test is with Little Hug juice boxes. And I did it with a slingshot, and it like knocked 1 or 2 of those down, and I was like, 2 Little Hug penetration. And then I had that I had the Fuck You 5000, and I just blasted, and it just destroyed every Little Hug on that shelf, and I was like,
this stuff would
total
work well
annihilation.
This stuff would work
Whenever
well.
you found something, that's real science.
You what, Biscuit?
This would work well in your spud gun.
Yeah, compressed air.
Propane. It's like a propane.
Propane. Wow.
It's mixed with a little bit of silicon oil to keep the gun smooth.
Right.
The scary thing about the spud guns only can handle so much pressure. Like you don't want to blow the thing up. And
my buddy, he hooked his up to his air compressor.
Oh,
and he had his neighbor and his neighbor's kid was standing there, and he had the black pipe. This is just the cheap white pipe, but he had the black. He's a mechanic at American Airlines.
He had iron.
No, it was black. It was black PVC, but it was a different. I think it was a different type of like a more. It holds more pressure or something.
Maybe
so he did the math, and
Schedule
maybe I don't
40,
know.
probably.
And he thought that like it was legit, and he had it here set up one time, not to shoot that, but I had a Halloween party, and he was shooting a ghost across my backyard. But anyway, this he had, and they were all standing there, and he was filling it up with compressed air, and it exploded, and it put shrapnel into the side of siding in all the houses around there, and like an act of God, for some reason, all of them guys and the kids standing there, none of them got hit with the shrapnel.
Lucky, very lucky.
That's too much pressure for one thing.
Yeah, it was too much pressure.
Pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Well, he had a gauge on it to gauge how much PSI was going in there and everything.
It didn't calculate the pressure enough for the actual device.
Apparently, because it exploded.
PVC in general, even CPVC, you'd be only looking at 50 PSI at the most.
He had more than that in there, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, that would be like liquid, but you can use CPVC for domestic water, but once again, 50 is the max, maybe 60, but Jesus. For pumping it up, he would have wanted to use like black iron gas pipe, and even then, it's still not made for super high fucking pressure.
He's made some with steel since then, but that time it was a little bit of a miscalculation.
Yeah, I'm glad nobody got hurt. That's what matters.
Probably could have used a diving bottle or something like that. That'd have been safer.
A what?
A diving bottle, a gas bottle.
Yeah.
An air tank.
Oh, an air tank. Oh, okay.
Yeah, a proper metal, something that's made for pressure.
Dive bottle.
You ever fired a gun, Biscuit Vapes? A real gun?
Again? A real gun?
Yeah, we fired a gun. Yeah, gun.
I had to go at a 2-2 at Air Cadets.
I never have. I've used a spud gun and a pellet gun. Never fired a real gun.
I've only shot like 2 bullets because there weren't much, like there were like 30 people in line to fire these guns.
Did you hit the target?
That, just BBs. Hey?
Did you hit the target with the 22?
I hit the paper. I didn't hit the actual. I didn't hit the circle.
It's all right. It's like darts. When you hit the outside, you hit like the edge, you know. You hit something.
It's because of the kick. Even though it's just a 2-2, there was more kick than what I'm used to with just gas-powered things.
Was it a 22 pistol or a 22
No, rifle.
There was a kick with the 22 rifle?
Not really. It was just like a small, but it's enough to, at 30 feet, it's enough to knock you off target.
Damn. 30 feet, huh? Yeah. I don't know. Sounds like you could have probably done better.
It was laid down on the floor as well. They wouldn't let us stand up with them.
Speaking of darts, I played my first game of darts in about maybe 16 months. Yeah, last weekend. Yeah, I won.
Nice.
I'm not a good dart player, but I played often. I did play quite often back home.
Do you have your own set of darts?
Oh no! I'm just below that level.
Yeah.
I had a wife and kid. My friends who went to play the dart team didn't have kids, you know.
So what style did you play? What was the game?
501.
Okay.
Yeah, normal darts, 501 down.
So you just everything's got to get hit 3 times, right? 20, 19, 18. Is that how you guys?
No. 501. Like, you know, you have a darts match. You know, the professional darts, the normal 501 score. You know, treble 20, treble 20, treble 180. You've got to finish on a double.
Yeah.
The traditional rules.
Yeah. Sounds good.
It's bloody awful, but yeah, it's good fun.
I've played darts some, but it's been 20 years since I played a game of darts. At least 20. More like 25.
Last game of darts I played was actually on Final Fantasy VII, the remake. There's a little mini game in it.
I've got a free game on my PS4. I think that might be it.
Yeah, it was free. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I haven't looked at it yet, but
There's a little dartboard in pub.
Yeah, darts is in the 80s it was synonymous with it still is synonymous with drinking, but the players and they've got so good. I mean, there's so much money being made now in the UK. There's a great sketch on an old comedy, Not the 9 O'Clock News. They're building up the darts contest. There's these 2 big fat guys. They go to take the dart and then drinks a pint. Oh, there's the first. Oh, it's a vodka martini. Oh, it's a treble whiskey. Oh, yes, well done.
Yeah, like beer pong. I've never played beer pong, but that just looks like a fun drinking game.
Yeah, I've never played it either. I've seen it. I've never joined in.
Ring of Fire is a better party game.
I don't know it.
Ring of Fire.
Basically, you get playing cards and in like a ring, a round table with an empty pint glass in the middle, and you pick cards, and you've got to basically, if you get a certain number, you've got to drink. If you get another number, you've got to pour a little bit of your drink, no matter what it is, into the pint glass, and the last person to get that certain number on, when they pick the card up, they've got to drink the dirty washings of whatever everyone's put in this pint glass. No. So you could have whiskey and beer and
game of food.
Yeah, I played a few. Yeah. It's like Kings, a card game. Played something similar.
Yeah.
The loser has to drink the shit.
Yeah, there's a game like that I played as a kid, but that's not something. Lost cotton candy. Well, guys, we're getting up near 3 hours here. What do you fellas think?
Oh, I'm getting tired.
Oh,
me too.
I'm
in UK. It's
a long time.
2 a.m.
I thought things were just getting started.
Will you stay?
Greg's wide awake. He's just woke up, fresher than easy.
It's my 3rd can. I'm going back to sleep now.
Yeah.
I'll be woken up now. I will.
All right, guys. Good night, and thanks, Steve, for hosting the show.
Yeah,
thanks,
cheers,
Steve.
guys.
Good
Yeah,
to see
cheers.
you all. Take care.
Good
See you,
night.
buddy.
Nice one, gents. You
Yeah, I
too.
think. See you, man. I think we'll go ahead and end it, fellas. Thanks
Okay,
for
man.
being here.
Enjoyed it. Thanks for hosting again.
You got it.
Okay. See you, man.
See ya.